Welcome back to Derailed. JJ Lahey, Jake Schyvinck in the house. We got too old for this, coming in hot. I didn't know Derailed was hosted by Mahmoud Ahmadinejad and Ryan Reynolds. Dude, of course you know Ryan Reynolds is on this. You look at this every single week. You see my man, my co-host, Ryan Reynolds. What's up, Ryan?
How's it going?
Hey,
I was in Deadpool. Can't believe people didn't know that. Whatever.
And
You know what,
more
that's
unfortunately,
nice.
you were in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, you know, it's nice not being recognized, honestly. I don't need too much of the spotlight. So
Too old for this says he needs to write a song for Derailed. I mean, go for it. We have one already, and I think it's freaking awesome, but would love a second one. Thanks. Do it. Chris N likes that idea. Evening, Chris N. See, we got Tyler Dershel, Prince Capsaicin. Everybody's here. So excited. Goose, we got Goosed.
yeah.
Oh, man. I'm so excited.
He's a big fan.
Live stream.
Goose saying I'm a big fan is really good. Excited.
So listen, confession. I did not watch the playoff game, and I'm not going to either. Okay,
God's the smartest Packer
make
fan
me.
there is.
You can't make me.
Give him a round of applause. Said I'm
listen,
not going to endure this, and he nailed it. I mean,
I told everybody beforehand. I was like, look, I'm going to record it. If it's a fun game, I'm going to watch it. And if what I think is going to happen is that the people who watch it want to commit Sudoku, okay, then I'm not going to watch it. So I checked Twitter,
that's hard,
and
dude.
I'm seeing what my people are talking about, and they all want to commit Sudoku, and I'm like, all right, for my mental health, glad I didn't watch it. So listen, I never stopped rooting for the Packers, okay? I mean, I was burning my Matt LaFleur candle the whole game. I was playing my Packers music. I chanted "Go Pack Go" in the house with my 2-year-old. Okay, it was a good time, and I just didn't watch the game because I didn't need that drama in my life. So, sorry if you're looking for hard hitting analysis of what happened in the game. Jake's your man for that.
So it was funny because, my immediate family's at my parents' house. My sister comes by, her boyfriends come by, and my mom's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll watch the Packer game. And the instant Pereira comes on the broadcast and says, yeah, the officials don't get some access to that overhead view on the Nixon fumble. And I would be honest, my dad and I lost my mind. And my mom said, yeah, I'm not watching anymore. I'll be upstairs. Because we lost it.
That's brutal.
I don't feel like I was super emotional, like game-wise, in terms of like getting super upset. Because once that fumble happened and Jalen Hurts had 7 seconds to throw in the touchdown pass, I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those. That's what it felt like immediately. And by the way, I know someone tweeted this. I was listening to Kevin Clark's show yesterday, and it was like, oh, the Packers trailed for 58 minutes and 21 seconds of this game. That's the most since 2016. And I was trying to think of what that game was. Was it Washington on Sunday night that officially got them to that 6th loss? That might be one of the candidates there. That bad Tennessee game that year, that was, something I thought about as well. But I'm interested to find out what game that is. But yeah, I mean, listen, the vibes.
He says the game that the Packers have trailed the most amount of time
since 2016. It was this playoff game.
Interesting.
Because I'm trying to think of which game that is. But
I know the Packers have only led in a game, I think like 57 seconds since, I don't know, December 10th or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's been brutal.
Yeah. Listen, they are what we thought they were. Okay. And the Eagles did not let them off the hook. Okay.
Right.
So that's that. I mean, yeah, it kind of felt like the game was over at that moment, right? The in succession type of thing. But boy, the defense just hung in. They started just kind of throwing everything at Hurts, and kind of once Hurts there was an incompletion. Hurts had to get rid of the ball off of blitz, and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. Hafley might be cooking here, and the offense just has to drag itself out of wherever it's been to do something. He just didn't get it, and JJ, I'll let you go. There's a lot of things that I feel like I need to rant about on this. and we need to get those out of the way, I think, before we fully move into off-season mode.
Right.
But, you know, it was
So as the
it was
host,
frustrating, man.
the duty,
Yeah.
I'm going to decree a rant session here for Jake. Jake, I want you. We're going to do some playoff loss therapy here.
Okay.
We're gonna live through you, Jake. So rant, and then when you're done with the rant, I got some announcements we got to get to. So
I will say,
y'all know what's coming.
It's not even like, honestly, it was like kind of not as painful a loss, you know, as some of the others, to be honest.
Right.
It felt like an uphill battle coming in, and I know there was, you know, and I credit Packers fans for coming in and going, man, this could be Shock the World week. This could be Shock. I feel like by the end of the week last year, it was kind of like, yeah, Green Bay's going to beat Dallas. Like, Dallas is insanely vulnerable, and Green Bay is running red hot. So it felt like that week was kind of like, oh yeah, they're going to do this. Like they can do this and probably will do this. This just felt like when you limp into the playoffs like that, and hey, Minnesota fans, they know when you limp in like that, it kind of freaks you out. You're like, yeah, I can be optimistic, but
yeah,
you know, is this who they are when crunch time rolls around? And yeah, kind of they are. And turns out Minnesota is too, but I'm sure we're going to get there at some point. But I think the most annoying, I think, bits of is just all of the Jordan Love stuff. I ordered something for this show. It didn't quite get here in time, but it's going to be here for next week's. So I'm excited about that. But
when is it going to get here? Like, I mean,
the 21st. So it should be when we go next.
Okay, cool.
But like, my issue is it's going to happen. People are going to dunk on everybody when you got 36 or how many ever million people are watching, right? That's going to happen. But man, the amount of like Malik Willis BS and, you know, yes, Brett Coleman threw the stat out there about Jordan Love dropbacks. And it was just kind of like, oh, and then seeing stuff like, yeah, this was, talk about a waste of $55 million. Talk about, you know, just not being good at all. He is who he thought he was. People are asking LaFleur about playoff collapses from Jordan Love. He's played 3 playoff games.
Right.
What's going on here?
It's not even like he played like. It's not even like he played like crap in the 49ers game either. Like he had
it was just
some
kind of
bad
like,
plays for sure.
Yeah, but it was like everybody's going to remember the crossbody throw when in reality, like, you know, the touchdowns were some pretty impressive. Like it just feels like, well, yes, everybody has a memory of a goldfish for the most part, and that's just what they're going to remember. Now, but like just the amount of Jordan Love stuff just really ticked me off. And I know it's going to be a long off season like that. Yes, he didn't play well. I'm not excusing him. He didn't play well. And then I'm seeing stuff today going, man, LaFleur didn't trust Jordan to throw the ball down the field. Why is he checking down a lot? And I'm like, thanks for your lack of understanding of what cover 4 and cover 6 are and why the Eagles do it and why they're successful doing it. I'm going to lose my mind on socials. I am about this stuff. And Richard Sherman saying, boy, they went out and got a running back because they don't trust Jordan Love. Okay, so the Ravens don't trust Lamar and the Eagles don't trust Jalen Hurts. Because why would you go get running backs then?
I mean, I don't put any stock in what Richard Sherman says.
I know, but people are going to. And it's just like, it's going to be so tough to have a sense of like nuance to any takes anymore because people are following the big names, and some of the big names who played the game really well and I think have done a good job for the most part covering this game, realizing they have to slip into the hot take world for people to listen to them is just going to destroy so much of how we consume stuff, and I hate it. So there's not going to be any lacking of discussion. And again, Jordan didn't play well. I understand. Underthrow to Wicks on the go ball. Unfortunately, they had to use Wicks for go balls because they don't have Watson in this game. The third interception, who gives a crap? You're down 12. Like, I don't care trying to throw that up. Okay. The second one is bad. That's the kind of ones where you put the microscope on and go, okay, we have to recognize these underneath defenders. But I just think, like, nobody's going to remember the third down throw to Wicks. Back shoulder, go elevate for a ball, catch it, right? Nobody's going to, like, I know that to me, the first interception, there was an element of, like, Rodgers to that. And when I said that on Twitter, people didn't like that. Because people don't like remembering Rodgers as the dude who kind of pouted and threw deep balls when things weren't going his way near the end of this thing in Green Bay, right? But, like,
Right.
I don't know. It just felt like just the immediate 180 turn of all the people who love Clifford and who love Malik Willis, even though they didn't love Malik Willis until he played a game for Green Bay, right? They can't remember from 3 weeks ago. They're like, why would Goody do this? Goody's dumb. And then Willis, hands the ball off a bunch and runs against the Colts, and he's the savior. So, like, the people with the memory of a goldfish are going to probably irritate me all off season, and I'm going to have to figure out how to keep composure because there's going to be a lot of live shows and stuff that I'm going to be doing and we're going to be doing all off season. So I'm going to have to keep composure, and it's going to be hard, but I trust the derailed folks who are here and a lot of the subs over on mine that I think they'll be more nuanced. But man, there's going to be those who jump in and do a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think, like, we're going to get into a lot of stuff, but that's like the rant, the Jordan Love part of the rant, and the Matt LaFleur part of the rant. It's gonna drive me up a wall. But then again, I realize the fire LaFleur stuff. I saw fire Sean Payton. I saw fire O'Connell all weekend. So, like, I guess that there's not really much to say there. I mean, that is what it is. It's just part of it, and I gotta let that part go. Now, I do think LaFleur has some things that can be cleaned up, right? I think I think Schneidman shared something about, like, they're used the same percentage of play action as they did last year, essentially, right? In terms of percentage. Didn't it feel like it dwindled, though, once they got into December? Didn't it kind of feel like there was a dwindling part of that? And so, like, that's why I'm like, yes, you're showing the season-long stats, which is super cool, but I need more than that. I need game by game, because that's not. I think, JJ, you might agree that I feel like LaFleur got a little disjointed, maybe got a little bit away from what the identity was, and I know that Jacobs has been really effective out of the shotgun, but I do think he can be effective, from under center, right? That's not going to ruin any. That's not going to ruin gap runs. Watch the Lions run gap runs with Montgomery. It's not going to ruin stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're still going to be successful. But I think they're going to have to be a point where LaFleur goes, okay, are we going to be more of the under center team, or are we going to try to operate a lot more of the RPO stuff and stuff from the gun? They can do both. The problem is it's going to feel disjointed if they're trying to do both, and there's no, like, rhythm to how the sequencing of the play calling is going. And so I'm not, like, going to lose my mind about LaFleur, but I think this is going to be a good offseason where they're able to tune stuff and be like, all right, this is what we're going to be. We have a guy in Josh Jacobs. How can we be most effective with him while also giving Love, the best chance for him to succeed in this offense? And so I'm excited to see how that's going to come together, but I think at some point they're going to have like those discussions. So I think that's it kind of for the rant for now.
Okay, so you teed up a pretty good Steno conversation, and the chat is right there. So let's. I'm trying to decide. Do I want to do announcements first, or do I want to dive into this Steno discussion?
Really quick, Tyler Dershel says he missed the spinner stuff on the handoffs. I think they did it once on Sunday. And I remember shouting it out, going, "Oh my gosh, they did spinner! There it is, excellent!" Like that, they do. They everything that, like, Willis did minus the QB powers and the QB stuff. Like, you can still do all that window dressing when Love's a QB. So
yeah, well, I mean, I remember there was a time in the middle of the season where they were doing 2-back sets with Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks out there, and it was beautiful. It was sexy. It worked. It was so clever. It was Matt LaFleur in his bag, drawing up everything and throwing it out there. And it felt like toward the end of the season, as games got more important, his attention was elsewhere, which again, I think segues into the Steno conversation.
Sure. I think it definitely can.
Too old for this wants to know what a spinner is.
So spinner is essentially using the quarterback to essentially spin to kind of feign where he's going to hand the ball off. So you'll get sometimes, right, you see Jaden Reed do that orbit motion, which is, a motion from one side of the field back around behind the QB, right? And so you get that type of motion, and what spinner can do is the quarterback spins towards, say, Jaden Reed, right, as if he's giving that, but in reality, all that's doing is freezing guys a little bit to then complete that spin, give it to a running back so that everything can kind of set up for said running play. It's just more window dressing to help the run game out, essentially, and give the defense more to think about.
Glad to see Drew in the chat. Thanks for being here. Drew says the wide receivers were getting wide open. Guys just weren't making plays. So that's been a thing like all year. It's, and I think there have been times where you could look at Jaden Reed specifically and say, dude's not getting open. But like Wicks has been open all season. Wicks has been open for 2 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
His problem is never getting open. And this, same with Dobbs. It's, hey, the ball hits you in both hands, or maybe the ball requires a little bit of extra effort to get there.
Yeah.
And you can't complete it. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. I just wanted to show, too old for this, just in case my explanation was really bad. So essentially watch what Lamar is going to do here at QE. I think this is a really nice example, right? You see the motion from Flowers coming behind, right? And essentially what the spinner is he spins toward Flowers first, and you already see these pullers getting set up. Henry's doing that sort of counter step. And essentially what it's doing is moving these linebackers and getting them to look at a bunch of different things, and he full spins for the handoff. And you're getting a guy out of position in 41, right? And you're hopefully setting everything up with your pullers to create a favorable advantage, which it does here. And Henry gets, to the second level. I think that's probably one of your better diagrams that you'll see from that. So
it's a good play. Glad you had that.
It's a lot of places now. It is all over the place when you look around the league, and it should be.
Goose says mostly I'm upset with the slop, and honestly, like that's just the whole season.
That's fair.
That was just how I felt. Like I really like our team. I really like all the good things we do, and mostly I'm upset with the slop.
Yeah.
Okay, rewinding a bit here. Where did Goose's comment go? I do think a change at offensive line coach, quarterback coach, or offensive coordinator might be in order. So here's the thing, man. You're going to get one of those for sure. Don't know if you heard the news. Sounds like you didn't hear the news.
It's the worst news.
Yeah, sorry, man. Tom Clemens is retiring. Sorry. Worse.
It's a Brett Favre situation. It's a Brett Favre situation, okay?
I mean, it kind of would be because Clemens has already retired once.
Yeah,
we brought him out of retirement to come back here.
Exactly.
So listen, Tom Clemens is retiring. That's the bad news. The worst news is that Luke Getsy is still out there looking for a job, and he's been in the building.
Yeah. My hope is wherever Rodgers lands, he lands. I think that's the hope, right? So
yeah. Now, unfortunately, I don't think Hackett is gonna, so Getsy might land in New York with Rodgers, but if Rodgers leaves, maybe he could take Getsy and Hackett. But if he stays in New York, he could kind of only take Getsy. He couldn't take both of them, and Hackett might very well end up back in Green Bay. Really hope he doesn't. I have a very low opinion of Hackett. I had some people asking me about like, hey, can't we bring him in? I'm like, I don't want him. I'm sorry. It's been verifiable. Yeah. Like we know what he has done in New York, and I'm not just talking about the on-field results. I'm talking about all the reporting of what went on in that building with Hackett about what Saleh and the upper level management in New York had to do to account for the fact that Hackett is not only just a buffoon, he's a lazy buffoon. Okay?
Yeah.
He wasn't doing his job.
Yeah.
He just wasn't. Straight up wasn't. I'm not interested in bringing it back here. I know that we had some good times while he was here. I don't know that we can... Like at this point, Kate, you saw him in Denver. You saw him in New York.
Yeah.
I don't think that... And before you saw him in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So the one blip was when he was in Green Bay. And we're going to say, oh, yeah, that success in Green Bay was definitely because of him. Yeah. I'm not there, man. I'm just not.
I agree.
Luke Getsy. Okay, listen. There's still a couple people out there who want Luke Getsy back. I don't know what's wrong with you. Luke Getsy was bad while he was in Green Bay. Really bad. Went to Chicago. Now, I know everything gets worse in Chicago. It does. But, like, we saw a good, healthy dose of what Luke Getsy is in Chicago. Then he goes to Vegas. We have seen enough of these two guys. Don't bring them back. Please don't.
Yeah.
Jake, am I wrong? Am I off base on anything here? Please.
No.
I trust you to call me out.
I don't think so at all. I think that we've kind of seen enough, right? I think there's some good thoughts in the chat as well of like look at the college game, see if there's some guys in the college game that might be, making that jump to be a QB coach in the league. They should be very much looking across the league as well, right? I think Tampa Bay, really good spot to check out. Of course, Minnesota and the Rams always seem to have guys that are coming through that pipeline, right? Cohen was with the Rams at one point. He's obviously done tremendous work in Tampa, kind of filling the shoes when Canales left. So I think there are going to be coaches around the league. You look around, you go, okay, this is working, right? If this is a QB coach making a move to OC, right? Like I think they got to be, they got to be willing to look at places where things are working well and just don't leave any stone unturned. Don't revert to like, these are my buddies, I need them here. This is a league where people, so we got to get those people on there. Like, it was totally fine, I think, with the Saleh thing. That's totally fine. Like, we've seen success from him calling defense. Like, that is clear. Head coach, but like calling defense, like that was very clear that like he could provide insight of like, yeah, this is how teams would, attack what you're doing offensively. Here's how you could adjust to that, blah, blah, blah. But I think for the most part, this is who make this type of move. We don't need to do that anymore, right? LaFleur has done a really, really good job now with multiple quarterbacks, play design, many, many different receivers in there, different running backs, and offensive linemen that kind of pushed their way onto the scene out of the woodwork, right? I mean, both tackles. I think we kind of knew it with Tom. I know, JJ, you were a bit higher on Rashid, I think, than most were. To see them jump out of the framework.
I had a second round grade on Rashid Walker.
Right. So, like, for them to jump out of the framework from where they were drafted so quickly is an indication of, like, scouting plus, the talent and getting them, the best out of them. All of this is working, and LaFleur is a big part of that. I think what you should be doing is going, okay, like, we should be proactive. Let's see if we can find an up-and-comer who, like, quarterback coach, run game court, whatever it may be, to, really seek that out, who can, deliver valuable insight, help Jordan Love out, help the offense out, like certain position groups. You got to be willing to continuously move forward and adapt and look for that edge anywhere you can find it.
Too old for this, forgot his place for a minute and jumped in with a serious contribution accidentally. I think Sean Mannion was being trained for the QB coach job. As far as I know, that's 100% correct.
Yeah, it's possible.
Like, groomed to be the next quarterback coach. So,
yeah,
I don't know if you can find a betting site that'll let you put some money on Mr. Sean Mannion. You'll have to spell his first name the right way if you want to really find
that's
him
true.
and actually put money on him.
That's a good point. But
Adam, my guy, love you, man.
Gosh.
He took Tyler Derschel's suggestion of Brian Ferentz seriously. Not Ferentz. Matt's gonna go back and nab Tim Lester back from Iowa. Yeah, I mean,
That's funny.
it hasn't been horrible.
Yeah.
It's been bad, but it hasn't been horrible. It hasn't been Iowa bad, put it that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, actually, a Tim Lester reunion in Green Bay at some point this year or next year, I could see happen, but
Yeah. I'll tell
it
you
might be a
what.
little bit early.
Tell you what, just because the college, it got me thinking. Man, whoever was part of like the Klubnik breakout year,
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to them actually. I would like to, and especially, if you're gonna kind of wait on that, or you keep looking the year after. If Klubnik takes another step, then I'd be very interested to see to talk to the people behind that.
Well, it's Garrett Riley right now is the OC
Okay.
and QB coach there.
Okay.
He's only been there since 23. That was his first year. He's been there for 2 years. So
okay.
that could be.
Check him out for a third year. See how that looks. Maybe
Jake.
that's something for everybody. Yeah.
Jake,
Yes.
it's announcement time.
Throw
We
a
need
T.
announcements.
Okay. Throw the T.
Okay.
It's a
First of all,
technical.
First of all, okay, I'm covering the
season.
brand. I'm covering the brand name so you don't know because they're not sponsoring us yet.
Well.
Okay. They need.
So
I just
what's
realized
that-
I was using the wrong finger. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's that thing at the top there? It looks like a sheet or something. Oh, okay.
It's the Snapchat logo. Yeah.
Oh,
So listen, this company is not sponsoring me yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to put their logo on screen. Shush, Drew. Shush, too old for this. Now listen.
Oh.
Here's the thing. I had to dig into my own pocket for some spare change to buy this.
Jeez,
Okay.
please.
I'm not trying to single anybody out here, but ever since we moved to our new channel where we don't have super chats enabled yet because we don't have enough subscribers yet, the donations.
Let people know.
No, shh, Brian Maffey, don't say that. Okay. The donations have fallen off. So here's the thing. Jake and I want to go to Green Bay for the draft, right? That takes Menendez, Mula. I want more unnamed beverages. Okay. So listen, up. Now, I don't know because on my screen it's kind of flipped. I think it might be over here or maybe it's over here. In one of the corners, I put a QR code to our Venmo. I also got it down in the ticker tape below, venmo.com/derailedfootball. Okay. Do your thing. Also, derailedfootball.com. I set it up so that way you have an easy way to tell your friends. Okay, you just go to derailed.com or derailedfootball.com. Sorry. And it takes you to our YouTube channel. It's so easy. So just do that. You don't have to go searching for us on YouTube, but go to derailedfootball.com, tell a friend, get more people in here, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell so you're notified when we go live. So you can join us here live and get your comments featured. Okay? Brian Maffey says that emoji equals white people. Well, we are white people, so that's okay. It's not cultural appropriation when we are white. All right. I think that's about it. Oh, one more announcement. Okay? I'm going not to the game, unfortunately. It's super expensive. But I'm driving to Ohio to go watch the Ohio State National Championship game with my family. Half my family are Notre Dame fans. The other half are Ohio State fans. It's going to be a good old time. We're going to have a blast. I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited for Northern College football. We got a second consecutive All-North National Championship game. And, oh, my goodness, are the SEC honks mad on Twitter? Woo! They will not leave us alone.
Do you know the last time that happened twice in a row?
What was it, 20s?
No. It was actually, I think, 04 and 05.
Oh, really? Okay. So
the problem is, if history were to repeat itself, JJ, after those 2 years, the SEC won the next 7.
Yeah. Well, there was this thing called you couldn't legally pay players, and the North abided by it.
Yeah.
That allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
Guess what?
I'm just like,
we have blizzards, we have wolves, we have swords. We'll stab you. Okay. The North is back. to the SEC and the SEC fans, I just want to say, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that once again you are irrelevant. Better luck next year. All right, that concludes You bet I am.
Oh, man.
You bet I am. That concludes our announcement portion. So as far as college offensive coordinators, I don't think we could pry him away, but I would maybe be a little bit interested in Andy Kotelnicki.
Okay.
Just saying.
That could be. I mean,
here's the big problem.
I mean,
If you're, if the theory is like, hey, let's go get the next Halfley, where we get somebody who's tired of being dealing with all the NIL stuff in college football, and hey, come to the NFL where you can just scheme stuff up. Like at that point, you're looking for a current college head coach. Now, I don't think that Sark would leave Texas, but he would be fun.
yeah.
I'm just not sure who you go get, because the most obvious candidate out there was Chip Kelly, and then Ohio State did exactly that and lured him to be their OC. So, the same thing, but staying in college. I'm just not sure how you're going to lure somebody away from the fun of college OC to the fun of NFL OC. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's true.
who would you like to get for OC, Jake? If we moved on from, I guess we have to have a conversation about why we want to move away from.
Yeah,
Steno.
I think that's a big thing first, for sure.
So here's my biggest frustration with Steno.
Yeah.
Is I feel like what we saw basically the whole season, and really for the last 1.5 out of the last 2 seasons, is that the Packers, especially on offense, mostly on offense, play on Sunday like they practiced crappy all week.
Yeah.
The product they put out there on the field on Sunday just looks like bad practices, which is like the number one responsibility of the OC is scouting the upcoming opponent and running practices. We all know that LaFleur is really the one, he's calling the plays, doing a lot of the game planning, although, you would like your OC to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
It seems like the stuff that we're specifically putting Steno in charge of is what's struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just from an execution perspective, it just certainly feels like, and again, it's hard when you're not there, you're not in every meeting, and you're not, there the Friday, the Saturday, and then game day, right? Like you're not in the building, so it's hard to know if it's just like, man, just guys aren't executing, and that's a personnel, a talent, whatever type of issue, or does it kind of trickle down from head coach to OC? Is the OC, again, Stenovich, is he got too much on his plate when he moves up from what was he was a run
Offensive
game?
line coach.
Offensive line.
Yeah,
So,
well, you're right. He was the run game coordinator
as well.
He was offensive line coach, then run game coordinator, then offensive coordinator. And I was on board with hiring him to be the OC. It was.
Yeah.
It was
like
wrong. Very famously, it was down to Luke Getsy or Steno. And I was like firmly on board of, first of all, get Luke Getsy away from this football team. Second, I don't really want to lose Adam as offensive line coach. Now, I feel like when he moved to OC, everything kind of got worse in the affected areas. The offensive line seems to have taken a step back. It doesn't seem like, and I know that Steno is still involved with the offensive line, but it's not his primary responsibility. It is Luke Butkus's primary responsibility now. The offensive line has been fine, but it has taken a step back from the days when it was Steno and Butkus running it together. And the offense has not really hummed smoothly since 2021, excluding, the second half of 2023. But that's it. Like 2021 to second half of 2023 and a smattering of games here or there sprinkled throughout 2024, the offense has not consistently hummed smoothly. Yeah. They play like they practice poorly. A lot of the time, the game plan, especially when we go, look at the freaking Detroit Lions games that we play, are classic examples of, it looks like the coaches didn't watch any film on what the Lions defense does. All right. Like, we, as layman casual podcasters, have a pretty good idea of what to expect from the Lions defense because, we watch the Lions play. And it feels like the game plan that was put together was, hey, let's attack Detroit in all their strengths and not attack their weaknesses.
Yeah.
That's frustrating to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is. I don't really know honestly what to add to that because. Yeah, I mean, I think there are defenses that can put in different wrinkles, but ultimately, like, I think with the Lions being so depleted as they were, I think to be surprised early that they're doing X because they've lost players here, right, shouldn't be as shocking. And at the same time, I think when you come out, right, it doesn't seem like, and again, I know everybody, I think the more I've talked to people, the more about the opening script stuff feels kind of like not what we quite think it is. Because I think people think the opening script is like, these are your best plays and I expect you to score. Which again, they're probably more core stuff, right? But I think the opening script is to how do they match this personnel? What are they doing on this down, this distance? What are they doing, when we bring two tight ends out? What are they doing when we put guys in motion? What's happening? Whether it be the orbit motion when we do stuff like that, or whether it be motioning the running back out and back in. Like, what are they doing in response to all of these things that we're going to throw at them and then build off of that? So some teams have made it look easier just because the scheme and the X's, O's, Jimmy Joes are all working really well together. So you get those opening, drive touchdowns. But yeah, it seems like there is often a lot of like, we're just going to run, which again, there's plenty to how do they respond to when we run this. But it seems like there was just kind of, in LaFleur taking the ball, I liked. I do like that. I think it's, I love the middle eight conversation and doing all that is great, but I do like the element of like, we're gonna be aggressive. We're going to go take this first. JJ, I know we've talked about it the last few weeks, right? Of like building the lead and then, kind of.
We've been talking about that for more than a couple weeks.
Yeah, and seeing how teams can answer from behind. And it just feels like there might be a lack of aggressiveness until there needs to be some, until like the situation demands it. Just seems like in those big games, that's what's happening. And I would like to see a little bit more aggressiveness while also, showing, displaying and featuring Josh Jacobs. There's nothing wrong with that, but I do think there is aggressive stuff you can build off that in the opening script, right? So it's a tough line. It's I can criticize all I want, but if I'm not in there, I don't have the full picture, but like ultimately I do think there is a sort of aggressiveness that's been lacking a little bit early, and it just seems like it takes a little bit longer for them to kind of go like, okay, this is what we can get into now. We're adjusting to this, right? We didn't expect them to do this, so now we have to adjust this. And this is where like you get those slow starts and they're playing from behind, which you unless you're Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, you don't like doing that, right? Like you don't like doing that. You're not fond of it. So yeah, it does seem like there is that element in the opening script, the first quarters, where it's just kind of like, yeah, we're not sure what to expect. We'll figure it out. We'll build off of that. We will adjust to it, what they're doing once we figure it out. But initially, we may just be surprised based on what's happening. So,
speaking of surprise, thank you, Tyler Dershel, for the $5 donation via Venmo. Super appreciate you.
Yeah.
And he included a note with it. It's the Snapchat logo emoji. So I think he wants me to buy another Snapchat logo drink. Thank you, Tyler.
There you go. What
Can
are
I pause
those?
this?
I've never heard of that.
They are. Here you go. See, Snapchat drink. It's super delicious. I wish they'd sponsor me so I could, really tell you about all the delicious flavors. Like this one right here is orange cream. Tastes so good. Tastes just like an orange creamsicle. So good.
There you go.
With zero sugar. You know what? I'm just going to read right here. Okay. Legendary energy. Epic focus. They're showing your brain how much it focuses your brain. Zero sugars. No artificial colors. Okay. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is not going to come after you and lock you up.
Yeah.
Okay. This brand, can't tell you who they are until they start paying me, but I sure love them. Can I posit a thing about the offensive coordinator?
Yeah. What you got?
I'm an Ohio State fan, and whenever I'm talking about Ohio State, I'm always making comparisons to the Packers. And I'm like, well, the Packers did this, and it worked out like this. We just watched this past year as Ryan Day, the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, finally gave up offensive play calling. And similar to Matt LaFleur and a lot of offensive coaches, it's a very uncomfortable thing to do because usually you got the job of the head coach by being an incredible play caller and scheming it up. And so you don't want to relinquish that and turn those reins over to somebody else. But the thing is that your team needs more than that. They need you to be a CEO. They need you to be involved on special teams, on defense. And what Ryan Day did, he brought in Chip Kelly, who was his mentor, and they got a great relationship and everything. And Chip Kelly didn't want to be the head coach at UCLA anymore. And turns over the play calling to him. And then he fires his incompetent special teams coach. There's always parallels between the Buckeyes and the Packers. Always.
Yeah.
Fires his incompetent special teams coach, and he takes on the special teams coaching duties himself.
Yeah.
Few reasons for that. One, it lets him get hands-on with all these players that are impacting the game that he normally is not interacting with. Okay, because when he's calling plays, he's talking to the quarterback, he's talking to the wide receivers coach. He's working with the offensive line, and he's really getting in there with his really big name players. When he's coaching special teams, guys are playing harder on special teams than they would for some schmuck. Hey, we're going to bring in this quality control coach to coach special teams. Yeah. It's a heck of a different thing to suddenly be like, yo, I'm out there blocking on special teams for the head coach, and he's standing there watching me. Like, I want to impress him. I want playing time on offense or on defense. And it's letting him get in there and build relationships with these players. It's also the other component of giving up play calling is that during a game, Ryan Day can have his attention on procedural crap, right? He can go over there and be talking to guys about, listen, you've been holding the last two plays. I don't want you to draw a flag. All right. Hey, these snaps are really errant. Hey, we're really need to be getting the ball out sooner because we're, about to have to, call a timeout or take a delay of game penalty. Or, hey, maybe I will call a timeout instead of taking the delay of game penalty because my nose isn't buried in a play sheet. Now, I'm sure Matt LaFleur does not want to give up play calling, and I think he's a good play caller. But the thing is, you can tell when he has to turn his attention to other parts of the team because the play calling suffers. Yeah. And you can tell when he's focusing a lot on the play calling because procedural stuff and, special teams, they all start suffering. Like you can tell Matt LaFleur only has 2 eyeballs, and he only has one brain that he can put to a task.
Yeah.
There's only so much he can do. And his attention needs to be other places besides just the play calling. Now, I love having him involved in drawing up great schemes. and great trick plays and stuff. Like, that's awesome. Please. Some of the run plays that he's dialed up this year, like I was talking about the Emmanuel Wilson, Chris Brooks 2-back stuff that he was doing. When was that? It was like week 10 or something like that. So much fun. And he can still do that, but I want him to be able to be focused on the defense and the special teams and clock management, situational game management. Hey, he cares so much about the middle eight. Great. I'm glad that you do. So let's make sure that your attention during that middle eight is focused on the stuff that makes the middle eight special, which is not play calling. It's attention to detail. It's guys being in the right place, the correct guys being on the field. It's guys understanding situational football. Go over and tell, this guy who's on punt coverage, hey, we're going to do it this way, and I want you to do this because I've drawn up this opportunity to take advantage of what the other special teams are doing. Okay, we're going to double this gunner here, and here's how we're going to take advantage of it, and I need you in there because you're the key guy who's making this work. You know who they're not going to probably listen to? Rich Bisaccia. Okay?
Yeah.
Sorry. Nobody's going to listen to him. They'll listen to Matt LaFleur. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is with every football team. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell is not calling plays on offense or defense for Detroit.
Right. He's not.
And his focus is everywhere else, and he is working all the little details. And for everything that you want to poke fingers and make fun of, certain things that he does, that is a darn good football team that pays attention to detail. They are very well coached. I'd like Matt LaFleur to take a leaf, out of that book and be involved. I mean, we even saw last year when Joe Barry was stinking it up and Matt LaFleur goes and he starts getting involved with defensive game planning and play calling. His offensive-minded head coach involved in the defense. All of a sudden, and it takes 2 weeks for it to start having an effect, but the defense starts playing better. Can we get that in all three phases from our head coach? Go find an offensive coordinator who you can trust. And listen, if you miss play calling, sure, you can go take a series or two and go have fun with it.
Yeah.
But look at our defense. We loaded up this past offseason with all kinds of coaches. Basically every position group on defense has 2 coaches now. And we have some serious talent deficiencies on the defensive roster. We have almost no cornerbacks right now. And that really was not a problem in any of our games. We played the Dolphins and they passed for 8 yards or something.
Yeah.
And then on the offensive side of the ball, it feels like we're, just coasting on the offensive talent. Yeah. Right? You got Luke Butkus coaching the offensive line, and we're he's kind of qualified, and he's doing an okay job. Probably could upgrade there. Yeah, our offensive coordinator can't be trusted to play call or game plan or anything. But, it's okay because our head coach is an offensive guy.
Yeah.
The wide receivers have been struggling all year. What are you going to do? Our quarterback's probably going to elevate them. I'm sorry, can we throw some more resources at the offensive coaching staff? Can we get some more guys in there? Bring in some fresh ideas?
Yeah.
I mean, who on the offensive coaching staff, besides Tom Clements, who's still been around Green Bay for freaking forever, has been brought in recently to bring in any new ideas? Nobody. Go get some new ideas. It can't hurt to innovate. I'd like some more offensive coaches. I'd like for us, hey, love Jason Vrabel, but the whole wide receiver room is underperforming. Can we put another wide receiver coach in there and get more guys, more focused individual attention? Yeah. Get him playing up to speed. Anyways, there's my rant. Yeah. I thought it was a good rant.
I like that. It's interesting because I'm always looking at what people are writing about rising coaches. It's interesting that Vrabel was listed actually amongst passing game coordinators, which is I mean, people clearly see what Green Bay's doing because Vrabel's on the list as a passing game coordinator. John Dunn, the tight ends coach, is on the list.
I like
as
John
well.
Dunn.
So
I liked the John Dunn hire because of what he did in New York with terrible tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
And then look, he comes over here. We give him some good tight ends to work with, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
After we've never had good tight ends in Green Bay for almost my entire life.
Yeah.
Love what John Dunn's been doing. Love Tucker Kraft. Anyway, sorry. You mentioned John Dunn. I get excited. Can't help myself.
No problem there. Yeah, I there just needs to be no stone unturned. I think it's hard. I'm 50-50 on LaFleur like giving up plays. I think the way you do it is you have, as you said, somebody who is like, you have to understand the scheme, right? You have to be immersed at what they're doing and how LaFleur wants to do it. You need to be at his hip if they're going to do that, right? So if LaFleur wants to do that, that's the way to do it. Then find somebody who's either in that tree or has done a tremendous job at the QB coach or wherever you want to look from. And say, okay, like this is what I do. This is what I want you to do. This is how the play calling needs to be. And then he can obviously, as you said, have his hand in a lot more. It's going to be interesting, right? As it was in Philly, after Sirianni lost Gannon and Steichen. It's been a little bit of a rocky road. They found their way back. I think more so on the Jimmies and Joes on the offensive side of things.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if Kellen Moore's doing a whole lot other than kind of like giving the dudes a chance to just be dudes and just win. So it'll be interesting to see how Detroit fares without, I presume, we'll see. I presume with Johnson and Glenn, if they take other jobs, that'll be interesting to see how Campbell handles that thing. But like ultimately, like, they're probably going to promote from within, and they have a guy who is attached at the hip to Ben Johnson, most likely. Right? Like they, at some point, in the back of your mind, you have, like, oh yeah, this will probably happen at some point. We should probably, get somebody on that, right? Like they've probably been thinking about it. Tanner Engstrand is probably who they're thinking about. Because I think he's now I don't know what is he? Assistant quality control. He's passing game coordinator in Detroit now. So, maybe he takes over and it's fine. So, yeah, I think they can. I'm not mad at the idea of entertaining it if they have somebody or find somebody who is fully immersed in it. However, as we've kind of talked about, do you like hiring from the tree of the genius or do you like having the genius?
Right.
At some point, the guy and not the ones under the tree is the guy for the reason. So I can see both sides of that argument, though. I'm not totally sold one way or the other. But I'm glad that you brought that up for sure.
Drew in the Venmo with another $5 dono. Thank you, Drew.
Wow.
There's no Snapchat emojis here, but he does say great draft and football content. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you. Love you, man.
Thank you.
Every little bit helps with getting us to Green Bay for the draft.
Yeah, and I know Drew was asking, like, could you just turn them on? Unfortunately, no. You need a certain amount of subscribers and watch hours, and then you got to do all the, AdSense and all that stuff. So there is certain requirements we still have to meet before we can.
The watch hours are like really going to be a super achievable goal. It's the subscribers that we really need. Yeah. So
watch hours is.
If you are a Derailed fan and you consume our content anywhere, please, you don't have to watch on YouTube if you don't want to. All right, I get it. It's kind of hard to make it on time to the weeknight live stream. Please go to YouTube and subscribe to us, because if you subscribe to us, you get us closer to having enough subscribers that the people who do want to donate can donate live.
Yeah.
that would be greatly appreciated. So, derailedfootball.com, fastest way to get there. Tell a friend.
Sir. There you go.
If you have burner accounts on YouTube, hey, I'm not telling you should. I'm also not saying I'm going to report you if you do. Okay?
What are those?
What are burner accounts?
No. No.
How many burner accounts do you have, Jake?
Have
you subscribed to us with your burner accounts? You should.
Truly none. But
I did subscribe to us with my main account, but
there you go.
Since my main account is like an admin on our account, it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't show up as a subscriber.
It happens. I know some folks who can throw in that way, I'm sure. So
Drew, by the way, wants to know how it's going to
though.
work for Detroit when they lose both their OC and DC. I mean, obviously, Campbell's going to have to nail the next hire, and Jake, you think that some of that help could come from within.
Yeah, Engelson was mentioned.
Yeah.
On that in those articles. So
Engstrom? Tanner Engstrom?
Yeah, whatever.
Engstrand?
Angles.
I don't know how do you say his name.
Hold on. I had it up.
Is Aubrey Pleasant still in Detroit? Where'd he go?
I don't
Aubrey
know.
Pleasant is currently he's the assistant head coach and pass game coordinator for the Rams. Now,
okay.
I was on record as saying I really wanted us to keep Aubrey Pleasant when he was in the building.
Yeah.
Here in Green Bay. Because he was at Detroit. They fired him. We brought him in, and I said, please promote him. Can we please keep him? And now he's going to be a head coach probably pretty soon.
Could be.
First, I hope he wins a Super Bowl ring this year.
There you go.
Or, at least makes a trip to the Super Bowl this year. Please beat the Lions. By the way, Jake, do you think there's anybody in the NFC who can stop the Lions? Like I'm just not there on the Eagles. Are you?
Yeah, completely.
You think the Eagles can beat them?
Yeah, I do.
I don't
like it, by the way.
I need to run the math. I have not run the math yet.
I don't like it.
I probably could while I'm doing it.
They got so many dudes, man. It is like
in Philly.
Really, yeah, they just got so many. Like, well, it'll be interesting to see losing Dean, who's been a big part of their blitz stuff, and who has kind of leapt into a quality starter / cemented starter role. Losing him with an injury like that sucks. By the way, the patellar tendon. Gosh, I hope he can get back from that. Gonna see how well they can kind of replace him against the Rams team that when they can turn it on, they can turn it on at times. So I think with Philly, I just feel like what they have in the secondary, Zach Bond, Carter, all these guys, and then you have your just two guys who, if the Lions are gonna blitz, they got two guys who just shred man coverage. Like Meek Robertson, that's been fun. It's been cool to see him playing well, playing hard, throwing some awesome quotes at the end of games. But Meek Robertson versus AJ Brown, come on. And their O-line's no joke, and Detroit's obviously been severely depleted. If they had Hutchinson and McNeil, I don't think it'd be a conversation much. But they don't. And they don't have Carlton Davis. Those guys aren't walking through that door. So it's going to be an absolute battle. I don't like Philly at all, so I don't want to see it. I'd rather see Lions Rams. But I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get Lions Eagles. So I think they can do it.
I'm looking at the map.
I don't want them to. I would prefer they don't, though. Thank you.
I'm looking at the map. So currently, Detroit is my number 2 overall team in the NFL, and Philly is my number 4.
Okay.
And the Rams, now this is not weighted for recency, it's the whole season. The Rams are the number 22 team in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, using just the last 3 games, Detroit should be favored by 2 points.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I have home and away reversed. Let me see. Okay,
Rams
Detroit
last
should
three
be
has
favored
gotta be
by
tough.
almost 5 points.
Okay.
DVOA favors Philly by 2.5. Elo favors them by 12.
Whoa.
Sorry, Elo favors Detroit by 12.
Oh.
DVOA favors Philly by 2.5.
Okay.
So the average there is Detroit favored by almost 5.
Okay. Interesting.
Now, that's using the last 3 games. If we use home and away, and it's a home game for the Lions, it skews heavily in Detroit's favor. They are favored by almost a touchdown. So, I don't know.
I hope so. Please. Please win.
All right, swapping in the
Please.
Rams here.
I fear we're getting Chiefs-Eagles again.
I'll take Chiefs Eagles. I'll take Chiefs. Look, the Niners aren't in the playoffs anymore.
No.
All right.
See,
My only
what's
rooting
fun.
interest from here on out is anti-Lion. That's my only rooting
my
interest.
only is
from here on out.
anti-Eagles. I just need them out of here.
You'd rather the Lions win than the Eagles? I'm gonna have to boot you off this podcast.
So it's so not. It couldn't be. It almost can't be further away between those two.
You disgust me.
That's fine.
The
Eagles
Rams
disgust me.
Lions.
So I
Rams
can't stand
Lions. Detroit
their
is
coach.
heavily favored by almost 2 touchdowns.
Rams Lions.
Rams
So the Rams last 3. How much of that that one of those last 3 is obviously they sat everyone, and lost to Seattle.
Yeah.
But offensively, the 3 games before that, it's hasn't been ideal.
So using last 3, DVOA has the Lions minus 1.5, and they have Elo has the Lions minus 22, almost 23.
Heck yeah. Go.
So we have 66.5% chance that Detroit wins over the Rams.
Okay. Too old for this saying. I need my cousin Colson to go get a ring. Go.
Oh yeah.
Football,
Speaking of,
go
hold on a
football
second.
team / Commanders. By the way.
Can I want to brag about something here. I want to show you guys something.
Perfect.
Dope.
Let's do it.
This is just something for fans of Derailed. All right, longtime fans of Derailed. Let me see.
Oh, this is sicko stuff. Texans, Washington. No. No.
Texans, Washington.
No.
It just would never happen.
We can't
That's
do
the thing.
that. No,
It just would never happen.
Oh man. No. But it is. I will say it is nice, JJ, that the Packers have beaten 2 of the final 8 teams. So.
Trying to think who those are. Hold on, let me think. Of the final 8. So that would be Texans
Indeed.
and Rams.
Yes, sir. Nailed it. Okay. I also have to bring something up after you bring something up. So.
I'm trying to make this show me only what I want it to show.
Chiefs deserve to lose because Mahomes named his kid Golden.
That was bad.
That's fair. That's fair. Drew would prefer Bills, Eagles.
My wife said, and I don't care enough to look this up. My wife said that the first 2 Mahomes kids were named like Bronze and Silver, and Bronze and Sterling.
Oh yeah. Yep.
What is wrong with these people? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Like, my motto is fan how you want to fan, but I'm not saying like name your kids how you want to name them to that extent. That's bad. All right, here's what I want. It
seems a little.
So look, this is the backlog of all of our old episodes, right?
Yeah.
And I made this. You see this thumbnail here for the Colson Yankoff episode? Okay. Look at this. So you got Yankoff. So this is cat litter, draft memories, yank off, and escaped chicken. So here's the thumbnail.
I don't even. This is what's
Sleeping
crazy
Beauty.
is I have the titles are so good. I don't even remember what we talked about. Like I have no clue what that's about. I assume that that's part of it. But
Usually these are the titles. So I usually have to come up with 2 titles per episode because I come up with a title about like, hey, here's what I kind of think we're going to talk about. Yeah. And then we do it. And like the chat derails us to the craziest things.
Was this pre-draft? Was that one pre-draft?
That was the Colson Yankoff one.
Yeah.
That was aired April 15th.
Okay, so we definitely did a mock draft in there, probably.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
We probably did.
So there's a witches one in here.
Too old for this nose. That's crazy. Good stuff. Too old for this nose that was pre-draft. That's incredible.
So this one was try to stay on topic challenge, witches edition. So I got a Packers witch in here.
What the heck is that?
Do you remember this one? This is the one where
topic challenge.
So
this is how
this was the one where Ryan had found where some witch had put a hex on Aaron Rodgers or something like that. Do you remember this?
Which? Oh yeah. Now I do. Yep. That's
too old for this with the receipts. You never did your post-draft mock draft. Sorry.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I got some other good ones.
It's on there.
This is one of my favorite ones. So episode 10.
It was right after football. It was right after the Oladapo video.
Drew says, "Was this the 3rd round curse?"
We did it.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
We did it. We definitely did it. It's there. I'm scared to look at it. Carson Beck's on the thumbnail. That's not good.
This was the second time that Jake and I ever did a live stream, just the 2 of us.
Bro.
So the first one we ever did was
this one.
Was
remember.
The day that UCLA or USC and
I remember this one.
UCLA and USC
defected,
left the Pac-12 and joined the Big Ten. So I called up Jake and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to do a college football thing on the Packernet feed. Do you want to do it with me?" And we talked, I don't know, for like 3 hours, and we came up with. I think we were doing like an expanded playoff bracket. We did like what the new division should be. We were like divvying up the whole country into new.
We did make our own conferences.
So much fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it was so much fun. Yeah, Drew says Jake is so embarrassed. I know, I'm sorry. So this one, I love this title they came up with. So it was originally non-controversial college football, which was the one Ramage came on hammered. Ramage is always hammered when he comes on here.
That was slightly after the new year because I was still slightly sick. I had COVID like bad.
That's right. So people thought you were hammered too.
No, they thought I was like, why isn't he talking? And I was just like, I everything hurts and I am sniffling when I'm trying to mute to sniffle. It was tough. That was a tough one for me. I was not even bothered, just sitting there laughing at everything. Gosh, that's it, right?
Yeah, this is the episode.
Yeah,
this is the episode. Yeah.
After
so this is
Dallas.
we were cracking up about the Dallas game.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't even need a.
That was super
cool for this. Is Matt Ramage hammered? That narrows it down to every day. I miss Matt. We got to have Matt back on here soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me see here. Where's some of my other good thumbnails?
Oh gosh.
The Bob and Silent Jake episode.
Bro. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh man. When Ramage and Katie were going at it, that was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
That was hilarious. And I was DMing Katie and asking her to come on the show live, and she wouldn't come. I wanted so badly to all of a sudden, like she just pops in on the show.
Oh, can't, man.
And has it out with Matt. That would have been
That's
so
crazy. That's crazy.
Let's see. One of my other favorite ones. Here we go. Remember when we hacked Aaron Nagler? That was a good one.
Yeah.
And then we had this period of time where Ryan and Jake couldn't both be on the pod at the same time. So it like every other week it was me and just one person. We were trying to make it work.
Talk about this then. I have a screenshot for this.
Yeah, is this the one you want to do? I can unshare so you can.
So
While we're waiting, by the way, look, this is the
bring this
original
up.
Ed Policy Day episode.
Yeah, I want to bring. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. That
Go
was
ahead.
a good one.
Put yours on screen.
Okay. So, for those who remember, JJ and I,
gonna tweet
when
at
it was
Katie.
one of our episodes in the summer when it was just the two of us, we were doing like spin the wheel to try to predict like the order of the records, right? So we did that, and here was mine. Now, what you'll notice on this little graph here, on these little rankings, is all playoff teams. So that's tough. Everybody was a playoff team here. Initially, I thought when I didn't look back, I was like, oh, I thought I had Houston at 3 and Green Bay at 4, and I was going to really stunt because the top 3 would have been division winners and the bottom 2 would have been wild card teams. But I'll settle for this. This is not too bad because everybody made the playoffs here. I do think Pittsburgh was the worst of the 5. Even though Houston is
Clearly
whatever. Houston's weird. Green Bay's also weird. They're in the same tier of like not showing up. The Rams have been better down the stretch, and the Lions were clearly one. Heck yes. That's all.
I do remember going head to head with you on this one because I did not believe in the Rams.
Yeah.
And you were telling me how elite the Rams were going to be. And I just took umbrage to you having the Rams ahead of the Packers. And I would like to point out, the Packers did win more games.
They did. But the Rams are still alive. And the Packers are
the Rams are a better football team than the Packers right now. They're playing better football. I think the Packers still have the better roster, and I'm not going to back down off that. Yeah, but no question, the Rams are playing better football. I won't deny that.
Turned out it was close, and it was going to be a tough one no matter what because, as I said, everybody made the playoffs, so there wasn't like a big discrepancy anywhere other than really Detroit to everybody else. So it was interesting. I also remember during that episode, I put Houston at 2, and you were like, what do you do? Why'd you put him at 2? And I'm like, well, I was saving it for the Chiefs. And then the Chiefs came up right as almost a second and a half after I said that. It was really good.
Hey, chat, let me know because I'm Jake's audio is getting warbled in my ears a bit. Let me know if that is happening for you guys or if it's just my headphones, because I can't tell. Too old for this. What's the first Godzilla episode? So, as far as I know, it was this August 5th episode where we did what was Godzilla's RAS. This was one of my favorite episodes ever. Drew said that your audio sounds perfect. Thanks, Drew.
It's your headphones, sucker.
I remember thinking Jake was sick and hallucinating again when he said Rams.
Nah, we always believe.
Goose says Jake sounds smooth and seductive. I think you mean Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. Oh, I want to say something. I was gonna plug something. We're not gonna do it.
Do it. This is derailed. We're not on your.
Well, did you guys know? Did you guys know that like Mint Mobile, you can you can pay way less than the bigger carriers? Did you know that?
That's pretty. Next week when you come on here, we need you to practice like his accent. Do the Canadian accent.
Okay. I will. Maybe I'll find a dialect. Maybe help myself out a little bit.
This is one I'm proud of. So the title was Ryan gives us a nice surprise, a betrayal, because like Jake and I are sitting there waiting to go, and we're like, when is he going to show up? And finally he texts us. He's like, yeah, I'm not coming on tonight. And we're like, great. Okay. So we did the live stream without him. Yeah. So here's the missing Jake thumbnail. The
best. I will say the one we did in like September, where I like so what had happened was, it was like in September because I was in Tennessee.
I feel like you missed this one. Did you miss this one?
I think I joined at like the 50th minute. I think I joined at like the 50th minute in one of these.
That sounds right.
It was before the Tennessee game. And it was kind of like I joined in and I was trying to join in and the dang adapter, the USB-C to USB, it went through the wash and I was like, oh, maybe it still works. And it didn't work at all. And I was getting like terrible interference audio wise. and I had to go on my phone, and I remember it might have been too old for this, or whoever it was goes, Jake's asking about, is my audio good in the 51st minute of the show, which I thought was incredible. And like, I was like, well, that's derailed right there. Just like, what?
That was funny.
He's asking, is my audio good? Minute 51. Really good stuff there. So.
Of course, this was a classic. Cocaine Bear tackles Philly cheesesteaks. Now, this is the one where we had the robot come up with the name on the podcast live. And so then we had to have the robot make the Cocaine Bear tackling the Philly cheesesteak as well. Okay. And, of course, this was the one then where we assigned Jake to have to go watch Cocaine Bear for us.
Oh, man. What a trip. What a trip that was. What a trip.
This one I've always been proud of. Go. So this is the one where we had Bruce Edmonds come on to talk about thoughts for the season. Analysis by 3 football scholars, and also Bruce Edmonds is here too. Now this one, let me see. Hold on. Here's what I need. Is this going to work here? I think this will work. 1 second. This is definitely going to work. I just need to find the right button to press. 1 second.
Okay. I'm gonna address something really quick. Time for a mock draft. So here's the deal, okay? I don't think we're going to do one tonight. I will say I already did one on my Substack. It was ready for Monday. It was ready to rock. And I might do one live tomorrow. So there'll be plenty of those in the future. And there's
we're going to have so many mock drafts on this channel.
There's one right now. If you go to my Twitter, you're probably going to find it because I retweeted it like 15 times the last 24 hours. So, to make sure.
The problem with trying to do draft stuff with me in January is that I don't fully have my head into draft analysis yet. I'm having fun watching college football mode. I'm not a sicko like Brian.
Yeah.
And I mean that as a compliment, Brian. But you're a sicko when it comes to obsession over the draft.
Yeah,
the ultimate compliment. But this was the Bruce Edmonds thumbnail. This is Bruce Edmonds.
That's a
here.
Good one. That's a good one. That is really good. You should be proud of that one. You should.
I'm proud of a lot of these. The Godzilla one, which is currently our background right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the goatiest of all of them.
2 thumbs up. 5 stars, 10 out of 10 on IMDb. That is Godzilla RAS is peak. Okay,
that is easily the best moment.
Yes, yeah. And there was a lot more in that episode too than Godzilla RAS. Believe it or not, there was a lot in that episode. The derailment was.
Well, here we go. Godzilla's RAS, a new Packers political party, and Finding Dory should never have been made.
Yep, that's right. There was a lot of that in there. The new Packers political party was a dynamo episode.
So we had somebody commented a few minutes ago. I lost the comment. Where is it? Somebody said bring Ryan back. Here's the thing: if you want Ryan, or if you just want all these old goodies right here. What you got to do, okay? DerailedFootball.com. It takes you to our YouTube channel. All right? You go over here to playlists. And looky here. You have the archives. Click on the archives, and you got all of our old... Oops, where's the thing?
All the old derailed. Adults don't pretend to drink mayonnaise. Will Levis hater. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, this is the one I think. Go to 51st minute. I'm almost positive.
Oh, look.
Yep. Yeah, no, that is. It is. 100% when I joined and was like, hey, this audio. How's the audio? It was.
I gotta unshare my screen and then reshare it to get the audio.
Okay.
And we'll hear what you say when you first come in.
Before you do that, let me share my screen really quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. For those who haven't read this, here it is. It's right here. On the Substack.
What's the URL to get here to this
Substack? The quick slant thequickslant.substack.com. So, Drew, I'm not holding out on you. I said there's going to be another one. But if you haven't seen this one yet, go do it. Go do that right now. Plenty of goodies in there, including a trade of a certain corner to another team. So, which I'm sure many will be able to guess that before you click on it. But there you go.
Oh, I think we know what you're clickbaiting there.
Yep.
All right, let's see.
This is fun. This is
terrifying defense, but
is the audio
before
coming through,
season
Jake?
began,
it is, yeah. It is.
okay, maybe the Patriots are going to have the first pick in the draft, and I was real big on the idea that it's going to be the Titans who have the number 1 pick in the draft.
I miss Harry
think
Cheese.
Their offense is
You nailed it. Titans number 1 pick.
terrific,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that they have.
I need to clip
enough
that.
of a defense
You do
that
need to clip
they
that.
are certainly, projecting to be
JJ, shut up. We want to hear what Jake
have
has
a better
to say.
record than the Panthers.
This is so funny.
The
Yeah,
Panthers
that's
can't do
a
anything
given,
right
yeah.
on either side of the ball. So I think
How many
that's-
first-round picks can a team get, by the way? I wonder what
It's
the
like we
record
don't
is.
even
I mean, I
notice
know
you're there or something.
like, traded
This
it
is
away,
so
but
awkward.
technically you
it's
can't
crazy.
have more than 32.
I mean, number 1 overall pick. Like, how many years
awkward
in a row
silence,
can
and
you
we
be
still
number
aren't
one?
going to get any.
This is
like,
good.
Hi, Jake.
Yeah, this will be the 3rd year in a row that they've earned that. That's crazy.
How do we not see you there?
I think I was
feel
still
so bad for
fiddling.
Jake, who's their quarterback that they're going to draft in the upcoming? I don't think we talked
Please
about
be
that.
right.
but
Don't
we'll
say Carson
discuss
Beck,
it.
you numpty. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Is
I was the
audio
biggest
okay?
Carson Beck
It's the
hater.
audio.
Had to kind of okay. Had to-
It's enough. We'll take
It's
what we
enough.
get.
This is the audio.
All right, well,
We'll take what we
Here,
can get.
is
All
this
right, we
better
spent-
if I turn
we
my
spent
phone like
55
this?
minutes.
Is this fine? Is this
No,
better?
you're good. You're good. Let's see that
Okay.
beautiful face.
The title
I
of this
think-
episode is going to be
Oh my
Jake's
gosh.
amazing 1 minute
R2D2.
Oh, man.
So
It
yeah,
does. It
apparently
sounds-
there's an adapter into my Mac that definitely does not work.
Oh, I
It
talked
must have
about
gone through
this.
the
Wow.
wash.
Yeah.
Because when the audio comes through
Oh, it's
through
so
the
bad.
headphones, using it
man.
like connected
Super
to the mic,
loud,
it
too.
is like basically like static bursts. It's
Oh,
really
man.
Cabin.
so yeah,
Where
gonna
are
have
you,
to
by the
replace
way?
that.
Cool
Uh,
lot.
Cabin in
Yeah,
Tennessee.
it was nice.
at
It
the
was
moment.
nice.
we're behind-
We were just talking
we're
about
behind-
Tennessee and how cool it'd be to be there.
We're behind enemy lines right now. So we're getting some intel on the Titans. Not that we need it. Should be a backbreaking turnover from Levis on Sunday, no matter what happens.
Job pick 6, baby. You know
Called
it.
it.
But yeah, chilling. My mom wanted to come out here for her birthday, so the family is out here, seeing black bears, hiking, doing all that
Lots,
good stuff.
like
So
lots of them.
that's
Like
where
right
we're at.
next
Actually,
to
I
them.
was in
Right next
I was
to
in
Cabin.
Indy on game day this past week. So you and I are both doing advanced scouting
There it
for the
is.
Packers. They just don't know it and are not answering our calls. So
Yeah, I've tried to leave messages. I feel like they're just probably trashing them, which is fine. That's after what Matt did last week. I think he's earned our respect.
Banana. It's a lie.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, he's peeling the banana. He actually just put. I watched him put hazelnut creamer in his coffee. The mayo thing. I think the mayo thing also might be a lie. So, but
we did a
as
full
to-
segment.
as
Just looked
to
like I was
who-
watching
We
Caleb
did 30
Williams
minutes
tape.
on
That's funny.
mayonnaise and bananas being a lie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Crap.
They
Does that mean
probably
I have
are.
to go to Minnesota next week? Is that what we're doing? Am I
Well, you
next
have
on the
by
schedule?
far
Um,
the least driving of the three of us. Then
Yeah, but it sucks.
yeah, you could go.
Yeah, but it
Classic.
sucks though. It sucks though.
Oh man.
Man.
Oh.
Goodness me.
This is such a good podcast. I love this podcast. This is the best Packers podcast out there.
Very-
Because here's the thing. There are other knowledgeable podcasts out there, and they're not entertaining. There's other entertaining Packers podcasts out there,
Yeah.
and they're not knowledgeable. You get both here. Okay? You can goof off and then actually talk real
Yeah.
ball. That's why it's the
True.
best. We have so much fun.
True. You need to
gotta
have
get
you
some
need
of
to
our
have
old-
an element of entertainment to it.
We have so much entertainment over here.
So it's good that we have that.
We got to get some
and
of our
it's-
old
and
friends
it's-
back on as
it's-
guests again. We need
Yes.
Ramage. We need Blaine to come back on. That'd be a blast.
Oh man. Oh my goodness. I think
So
just-
I was gonna say,
also big shout out to you guys because the rabbit holes that you help us go down are truly impressive. And
Thomas Austin,
great.
I think Thomas Austin would come on here if we if we reached out to him. I think he would. He's a good dude.
So
actually he has his own podcast, the Tom Austin
Show. Brian's coming on. You know that.
Brian is 100% coming on.
Brian will be here. It's not gonna. You're gonna have to really try to derail. Okay, like we're gonna have to bring the A game. Okay, advanced scouting report. Brian will stay on topic with the draft. I'm telling you. So you got to bring your A game. We'll tell you when it's gonna be, but you got to be prepared, right? You can't come out like the Packers in the first quarter of games this year. Okay, you can't do that. You got to come out ready, to be aggressive and take a lead. That's all.
We've had Goose on the show before, and unfortunately, he didn't pour enough maple syrup into his Canadian phone. All right, and it was so hard to hear him.
It was.
So we told him, Goose, come to America, get some real internet, and be on here full time. Adam says it's super easy to derail Brian. Do tell, Adam. Here's what it's really easy to derail Brian with is you can derail him very easily by just listing random players because he can't help but.
Well, is that too on topic though? Is that too on topic? Many are.
It depends on if we're trying to get him to talk about a certain player. If you start mentioning other players, who's Brian? Too old for this. Who is Brian?
He's right here.
What the heck is wrong with you? Brian Maffey, obviously.
Yeah.
Brian, can you fix your freaking YouTube account so you actually have a picture instead of just an orange bee? What's wrong with you, man?
What is happening? Oh, man. That's funny.
Goose.
That's funny. Oh, man. Good times. Good times.
We try not to get political on here, but sometimes we got to take a swing at Canada.
Ed policy. That's
the
only
you
party,
better straighten it up there in North Montana,
party.
Or we're going to send Ed policy up there.
Yeah.
I like the movie about the life of Brian. That is a darn good movie.
Oh, man.
You know who else I want to have on here is Paul Brettel.
Oh, yeah.
Paul is another guy who I enjoy doing draft stuff with.
Paul is another one. He will stay on track. He will.
Yeah.
He will stay on track. Another advanced scouting report. This is going to be Brian and Paul are going to be like playing the Eagles and playing the Lions. You have to show up. You have to show up. You can't, the laissez-faire stuff. It's not the Titans, okay? It's not the Colts, right? You have to show up. So.
Ooh, Drew with a solid question. Where do you think
question.
Sam Darnold ends up? Back to Minnesota and let McCarthy sit another year? I'm going to say they will not do that, but they should. Jake, your answer. Well,
yeah.
Of course, here's the other piece of the puzzle. Is Darnold is going to want money at this point.
Yeah.
Even though Paul is too innocent for this channel.
Brian makes a nice point there, I think. But
here's counterpoint. Paul has been on this channel. Okay.
There you go.
Not technically this YouTube channel that we started like 3 weeks ago, but he's been on this show.
Yeah.
Jones will start next week. Gosh, I hope so.
I think your mic might have come out again.
You can't hear me?
Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't know why it sounded muffled and further away for a second there. But
let me just check my audio settings and make sure it's still using the right mic. Looks
Prince
like it is.
Capsaicin's here. Hello. He has arrived. See, we're already off track. Sam Darnold, I think if the Vikings could get him to sign a Baker deal, right? What was Baker's, like 3 for $103, something like that? I don't think it was very expensive. If I'm remembering correctly, if they could do that, I don't see why not. But you saw what happened the last couple games. Now, of course, part of that, of course, is the offensive line. But he also just missed guys in the Detroit game, and you felt the pressure was rattling him. I think he
was
pressured.
bad in that Detroit game.
Yeah, it was not good, and he was pressured to, I think, 24 times last night. I think 11 of those were like quote unquote quick pressures, right? Which is the ones that are more on the offensive line potentially rather than the QB. But 13 of those, I think most would attribute to him. So. Yeah, I think they're gonna let McCarthy cook next year, which the odds.
I think they will.
The odds, by the way, just doing some math, JJ. Just doing some math. If Jaden's good, which I think we would say he is, if Bo is good, and if one of May or Penix is good, the odds are not looking great.
Are you suggesting that if Jaden and Bo were bad, that would make JJ good? Because
we're just
I'm not a
playing
math
the
major,
odds.
but I can
We're
tell you
just playing
that's
the
not
odds. We're just playing the odds.
That's not how the odds work, man.
Yeah,
That's not how the odds work.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It is not how the odds work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Hey, once Stroud was good, you knew that not everybody was going to be good. Now Stroud had a bad year, but the Levis
once
thing was
Carolina drafted Bryce, then you knew Stroud was going to be good.
There you go. Once
how
the
that
Bears drafted Caleb, you knew everybody else was going to be good.
Yes.
Once it was
they
kind of
drafted
like,
Caleb, you knew every other quarterback in the class was going to hit.
It's like, all right, who's going next? Oh, he's probably going to be good, and then
Well, you look at the Trubisky, Deshaun, Mahomes draft. Like
that's one.
Trubisky was the only QB who didn't hit.
Well,
here's something I want to touch on for a second. Drew says the thing is there aren't many landing spots for Darnold.
I want
to throw something out to you, Jake.
ahead.
I was thinking about this the other day. Stop me if I already talked about this in the last few weeks on this channel. There's like no bad quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Like how many teams have actually bad QBs? You look at
the Giants.
The Giants don't have a quarterback.
Right.
But if you look, okay, so
that means they're bad, yeah.
Name me one team
The Giants.
besides Daniel Jones with the Giants. Name me one team that isn't on a like true backup. Like, hey, this guy was not the plan, but the starter is injured. Name me one team where it's like, yeah, quarterback, like they need a QB. Like this guy's bad.
Tennessee.
Where they have a guy who's supposed to be the guy and isn't. And you look at all around the league, like Darnold suddenly got good. Baker, mystifying to some people, but I've always been a Baker believer. All right. But Baker is great.
Yeah.
You look at all these journeymen. Okay, Bryce Young is playing well.
Yeah, he is.
There's not really any bad starting QBs around the league,
Cleveland.
which is a weird thing.
Cleveland. Like, if he can get hurt, he's bad.
I think that's the only one. Yeah. Deshaun
he's
truly
bad.
Awful.
Yeah, he's bad. Like, if he had stayed healthy, it would not have gone well either way. So, yeah, I mean, it's New York
chat
and
says
Cleveland.
Yeah, Philly. No, Jalen Hurts is not bad. Okay. Atlanta.
Okay. It's a funny joke. That's valid. Jury's out, right? We'll see. That's going to be a we'll see next year, but it looked okay.
I totally forgot the whole point of me going on this rant was to, or not rant, but the whole point of me bringing this up was to trash on Levis. I forgot that I wanted to do that. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. So you got Deshaun, Will Levis, and Daniel Jones.
And Drew Lock or it's because Daniel Jones is now a Viking on the practice squad, so it's Lock and DeVito. That's what they got, and they signed Tim Boyle as an emergency. So there was a lot. What's really funny is, I think by EPA per play, like at least for what they've been able to chart and what they have in the database, like Drew Lock had the 6th best game they've ever had in their database against the Colts. So it's the best
prediction
game by
time.
a giant with like the Eli Manning era in there. I think it's so funny. That's
since they even went out and got Tim Boyle. Here's my prediction.
Okay.
This offseason, they are going to either add Will Levis or Kyle McCord. One of those two guys is going to end up there.
Oh gosh.
Take that to the bank.
Okay. I'll flip the script. I'll predict someone else. I'm going to say Geno Smith goes there.
Dude,
that's what I'm going to say.
I don't think they can resist either. It's got to be so tempting to do it. It's got to be so tempting to do it.
Yeah, I think so. Also, the Malik Neighbors fanboy in me also just wants Jameis Winston to go to New York, so you can almost reach 2,000 yards, because Jameis will have no fear throwing to Malik Neighbors any chance he gets. Judy had 1,100 yards this year. And a lot of that was with Winston in. So, I think
I do really like Winston.
If a team wants to sell some tickets, and put up some numbers and turn the ball over a lot, Winston's your guy. So, whatever you'd like to do. I think as far as Darnold goes, it's probably Tennessee or Pittsburgh, no?
It's not going to be Pittsburgh.
No? You think Pittsburgh's getting our buddy? Our longtime QB, perhaps?
I think.
Do you think Rodgers would go there?
Did you say Rodgers?
Yeah. You think he would go there?
No, I don't think it's going to be Rodgers. I think they're going to run it back with Russ and Justin. That's what I think.
They could, unless somebody really wants to see Justin in their offense, which unless it's like Dayball, and they want to run a lot, which he has done. Then maybe, but the Malik Neighbors fan would hate that. But
right?
I could understand that because he does like that in the offense. He did it with Daniel Jones, a lot the year they went to the playoffs. He just said, "Now we're just gonna run him. Like who cares?"
I just would like to see, and I know this is I would like to see Justin go somewhere with a good offensive coordinator, in a place that is known for good and creative offenses, because Chicago and Pittsburgh are bottom two on that list, mixed in with the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Some of these chats that we have here are just amazing. I want to get to them.
This is really good. There's so many good things in here.
So Atlanta has their 30-year-old rookie.
That's really good. Yep. That's fun.
Drew says now Cleveland is number 2 overall, so they can draft a QB. Here's the thing. Jake,
Kirk Cousins.
I might change my mind. All right, change my mind. I reserve that right. But as of right now, I think I'm out on almost the entire QB class this year. This is a bad class.
I
don't think that I would actually draft. Quinn Ewers would maybe be the only guy that I would be interested in, and I'm not going to give up a premium pick for him. He's Quinn Ewers. You spend the same type of pick on Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
What was the Tennessee guy that the Lions drafted in the 3rd round? What was his name?
Tennessee. Oh, Hendon Hooker.
Okay, you draft Quinn Ewers with the same type of draft pick you spent on Hendon Hooker. All right.
Maybe if you're the Rams and you're
sure.
You have future plan? Sure. Do that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You want to do that in the 3rd round? Yeah, fine. Whatever. You want to do that. They're never going to get Cam Ward there, but that would be perfect. Rein him in. Let him sit. He's not going that. He's not going that late. He's not, unfortunately.
No.
For him, but it is. It's tough around here. I think. Yeah, I think so. I think again. Yeah, right. That's I think to the question of who would be searching, right? Who's everyone's bad at QB. Stroud was supposed to be the next big thing. We definitely could see a year 2 regression from somebody. I know where my money would be. From the rookie class at QB. Spoiler alert, they got eliminated on Sunday. But yeah, Jaden's got
it. The people want to know. The people want to know.
What's up?
People want to know what we're talking about.
Oh, Bo Nix. West Coast Kenny Pickett, baby.
Yeah. I really like Bo.
That's what I called him. But
I was really high on Jaden.
Yeah.
And then I liked Bo, but the thing I said a million times about Bo, I said I really like Bo, and he's the guy that all the numbers point to him actually being the guy. But my problem with him was the age, because I was saying, what if what we're seeing right now is peak fully developed Bo?
Yeah, is it?
Like, what if what this is all you get? So that was my question with him is like, hey, all these other guys, like Caleb is way younger and has so much more development ahead of him. Now, what we're seeing, obviously the NFL doesn't love that all the college guys are getting NIL money to stay in school longer, and then they get an older product, obviously. But I think the exception is with quarterback, because they want more experienced quarterback prospects, because they got to spend insane draft capital to go get that quarterback. So let's get a bigger body of work. Let's give them more games under their belt.
For sure.
So I think the NFL is loving getting guys like Bo Nix, who have played like Dylan Gabriel, has set the record with the most number of college football games started. Like the NFL is going to be, super geeked at the amount of data they have about Dylan Gabriel and the amount of experience he's gotten. Like, what you're getting in Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah. Well, I think
unfortunately what you're getting is 4.5 feet tall.
I think they're really, they've liked also the fact that Cam Ward has played an incarnate Word, then got 2 seasons in at Washington State, and then played at Miami. Now, whether you think United is going to be good, whatever, but like they're getting plenty of looks at like, okay, this is what he did here. He's taking steps here. He's taking steps here. What can we correct? What can we rein in? Like they're going to have so much on Cam Ward, which they're not going to have as much on Shedeur, right? Like they're not going to have as much on him. So yeah, it's going to be. I like it. I was kind of like meh on the like, that they're 24 when they're coming out. But yeah, I mean the whole like QB starts thing, it matters clearly. It's good to be able to see like, okay, is there a ceiling? Are they progressing? Are you seeing more? And are they picking up offenses, right? Like I think that, that's this class is, I think, showing you that quite a bit. Like Penix, same thing, was at Indiana for a while. Obviously injuries derailed, but you got to see a lot more of like, okay, these last 2 years at Washington, vertical passing game, like he can do that. So, I'm definitely in on it. I think Klubnik could be a really nice example of this potentially down the road, right? He's, somebody who was talked about pretty quickly, had a nice freshman year. It's been kind of dipped. He's coming back a little bit, right? Like you're going to, I think, get a better look at that. I think it would have benefited Ewers from doing that, to do that. He's entered the draft. Now he can change his mind still. There's still time, but yeah, I think maybe Beck, brings it back at Miami. I don't know if he even plays, but you're going to see more of that.
I'm a million% out on Beck.
So you're going to see more of it, especially at the QB position, right? Where like, it's like colleges would love to be able to have a good one, market the university, and, it's going to be a big part. There's no doubt. So
Goose has an amazing comment here. It took me a minute to figure out what he was talking about because his comment was so long ago.
Oh.
This was in reference to landing spot for Sam Darnold. What about the Saints? New Orleans really loves people with a strong connection to the spirit world.
Really
Sam
good.
Darnold sees ghosts. Love it. Yes.
Sam Darnold and McCarthy in Nolans.
That would be interesting. We should do you think do we need to do this tonight, or are we still going to have plenty of time by next week to do where will each head coach land?
I don't know.
I mean, we already missed Mike Vrabel. Now, I mean,
that's interesting.
I've been talking, like, everybody who knows anything knew Mike Vrabel was going to be in New England. Like, it was plain as day.
Would have been cool if it was Ben Johnson for Drake May's sake, but
No, we're pushing the Ben Johnson to Jacksonville narrative.
Well, I think if it weren't for Trent Baalke, they might have like a little agreement here in place.
Yeah, but what I've said consistently is I think that Ben Johnson, I think that Trent Baalke is just pre-fired, right? He's not fired. I think
that's right.
I think he might keep his job depending on who gets brought in. And for the right head coach, Baalke's gone. Drew. cursing in the comments. He says, "Oh, Jets, don't." Okay,
Can't say
we
that.
don't need that kind of foul language.
Can't
Here.
say that.
Speaking of foul language, Brian
Garrett
Maffey, we
Wilson.
do not say that name on this channel.
Whoa. Becomes a Giants fan. Because of Geno? Oh, brother.
Rodgers will end up in Minnesota, says Toolfist. I mean,
I think
obviously.
there's two options. I think our favorite our color guy at Fox / Raiders owner / how's he getting away with this? There's a chance. Like I think there's a vision where the coach they bring in, that Brady could potentially sell them on the like, hey, let's bring in this guy just for a year. You know, get excited about QB play, and we're gonna heavily go after the top of 26. We'll get our bridge, sell some tickets. You'll get a guy you can work with. We'll see how you design it for him. Right? If it's Johnson, I'm not saying it's going to be, but if it's Brady or if it's Cohen or whoever it is, right? Or a defensive guy that brings in an offensive guy. Let's see how it all works. Right? Let's see some progress, and we'll get you your guy long term the next year. I think there's a chance that that's potentially what they're selling in Vegas. It's interesting, no doubt, but I mean, wouldn't put it past him. Brady recognizes game. He knows. He probably knows he sees stuff in the tank there, right?
How much say do you think he's actually going to get, though?
I don't know. The way that people are reporting, it seems like he's got, at least a pretty firm hand in what's going on over there, which is why people are kind of like, why is he still getting to broadcast? Why?
Right.
One of my favorite jokes on Sunday was like, man, Brady at halftime, he might have to leave for a call. It's kind of like, hey, we're bringing in this guy next week. Davis is going to call him halftime, be like, hey, so we're bringing in these two next week. How do you feel about that? So that's interesting. That feels like another Justin Fields. That's the Fields comp. I don't think Ward is the Fields comp. I think here's your Fields comp.
So Adam Huddle says Pittsburgh is getting
Big dog
Jalen
can
Milroe, combining Russ and Hurts into one younger version. Isn't it Russ and Fields? They're combining Russ and Fields?
Yeah, I think so. I would imagine.
The chat at one point, half an hour ago, back when these comments were current, wanted to talk about Devontae to Green Bay. I say we skip that conversation and instead talk about this one, Steno to Chicago.
Well,
here's the only reason that I want to see Steno go to Chicago. It's the only reason. Is because I loved what happened the last time we sent one of our coaches to Chicago to be the offensive coordinator. That's the only reason.
That's fair.
I don't hate Steno the way I hated Luke Getsy. I have strong questions and doubts about Steno.
He's got thoughts.
If I could just wave my magic wand, I would want to keep Steno in Green Bay, but bring in a different OC over top of him and have Steno go back to offensive line. That's what I'd like to do. I know it is impossible, but
yeah, I get that. Do you think McCarthy would bring him in? I feel like he wouldn't.
Do you think McCarthy's going to Chicago?
I think it's on the table. And I think people, to be honest, like I think people, if they clown the McCarthy hire, it's bad news, folks. I wouldn't do it. I feel like when we clown hires as a consensus,
except for the Urban Meyer to Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's got its own special place.
Wait a minute. What was the one that somebody flamed out super bad? Oh, Hackett to the Jets. That was the one. Hackett to the Jets.
Sure.
That was terrible.
Yeah. Like, I think with McCarthy, I mean, he's going to, I think, be a very steady hand wherever he goes. Do I think the offense is going to be tremendous and innovative necessarily? No. Do I think he can get Caleb to play more on time than a younger guy who's going to have to rein it in, right? Who's more ascending as a coordinator to coach? I kind of think so. I kind of think you'd probably see better results. And I think for whoever he gets potentially, like if he goes to New Orleans, either way. So I think there's a chance that like for McCarthy, you know, if he gets the nod, like that's, you know, it's something that people will be like, you see what happened at the end of Green Bay. You see what happened in Dallas. And it's kind of like, well, in Dallas, other than when he lost guys, right, this past year, they've been a playoff team, right? They're winning 10, 11, 12 games, right? Yeah, we did lose JJ. So, I mean, I think it could be a lot worse than going after McCarthy. So, tool for this is Tom Brady is the Toby Flenderson of broadcasters. Probably wasn't allowed to criticize the refs. That's probably true. Which is why he said a clean hit directly on the ball at Nixon. Yeah, that was. Listen, the beginning of that game was a mess. Didn't like it at all. From a broadcasting, refereeing perspective, it was a travesty. So
I had to switch to wired headphones. Oh. I couldn't hear you anymore.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on with my Bluetooth adapter in here because I switched one set of Bluetooth headphones for another one. And the audio cleared up, and then it disappeared entirely. So hopefully the wired ones work.
Sounds good. Hopefully you can hear me now.
You're loud and clear.
Awesome.
This is crystal clear.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think the one thing I will say is I know you passed over it. I want to bring this up as we, I assume, wrap up here a little bit and maybe make national championship game picks because Northern College football, of course.
Yeah.
Bill Huber put this out. Right. And I'm wondering what everyone thinks. You can obviously see who I've
Wait. Scroll down a little bit.
What?
Scroll down a little bit.
Vote is pretty close.
Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Man, keep scrolling. There we go.
Neither. That's not an option.
It is an option.
You have to pick. No, you have to pick.
I don't want either one. Listen.
You have to pick. If you had to pick.
If I had to pick.
If you had to pick.
Geriatric, super expensive Devontae Adams or super overrated, overpaid wide receiver 2 T. Higgins. Get out of my face. No. None. Bring in somebody who can actually contribute for the amount of money that they're going to be paid. Okay?
What if he does the Russ thing?
Why would he do the Russ thing?
Jets are paying my money.
There's
Jets
no
are paying my money.
No, there's no. First of all, the Jets are not probably gonna. No. All right.
Who's trading for him?
If Devontae and T. Higgins were both only $10 million a year.
Yeah. Sure.
Then I would say Devontae.
Okay. That's all I wanted to hear.
I would say yes to T. Higgins for $5 million.
I'm just
not a penny more.
Man.
Not a penny more.
I
have been out on T. On T.
Yeah, I'm truly out.
I've been out on T. I've been out on T since his days at Clemson. I could not stand him as an NFL draft prospect. Couldn't stand him.
Just draft a guy. Beg.
Yeah.
We don't need to do this. This is correct. By the way.
Yes.
Do this.
Max Crosby.
You want to get exactly. You go get Crosby if you'd like to.
By the way,
T. Higgins $26 million a year. Don't do that.
Jake, do you feel like about Amari Cooper? What about 400-year-old Amari Cooper do you want to talk about?
Let's just go to Adam Thielen. At this point,
No, we're going to go to my go-to in all these hypotheticals. Why not bring in Peyton Manning? He was so good. Last time we saw him play, he was so good. No, as QB.
No, QB coach.
Dude, there's no chance in the world Peyton Manning would ever want to go coach anybody.
He get frustrated.
All right, I'm going back to Adam though. Okay, doesn't it feel like
maybe
Max Crosby to Green Bay is actually happening?
I mean, the contract is like, if I remember correctly, let me see.
Like doesn't it seem like he wants to come to Green Bay? Aren't we getting these vibes?
You talk about like I think I talked about. I don't remember what it had to be last week. Where I was like, they need a couple like more alphas on defense. Like there are good players on this defense. There's no doubt. There's good players on this defense, but like they don't have like two alphas who like make the engine go and set a tone. They just don't.
Adam Huddle here says Green Bay just won't give up the picks for Crosby.
What if they swap with Alexander?
Yeah, here's the thing. Green Bay likes to trade players for players.
I'm not saying they wouldn't have to send a pick as well, but like,
now, I don't want to move on from Jair, but with the injury concerns,
I imagine
the only reason I would want to move on from him is the injury
these
concerns.
Base salaries are insane for Crosby, I will say.
Tool for this, I think Goot will leave his tendencies to get over the edge. I hope not. The last time we did that resulted in.
I like it.
No, the last time we did that, we got 2021, and we have been paying for it for 4 freaking years. That year was horrible, and it led to a horrible cap situation for years. As you watch this team slowly get gutted by age. And we don't have the cap space to.
Sorry, I thought you meant draft.
Oh, draft tendencies. Well, I don't think that's what Too Old's talking about.
No.
You could talk about even draft tendencies. I'm okay with that. I mean, no. That's 2 different topics. Yeah, leaving draft tendencies, I'm good with.
Sure. No, I what I would like to do is in the first round go, hey, this guy's pretty good and he can get even better. Not like this guy could be good. Please, I'm begging. One time, just for fun. Maybe Jordan Morgan is that. But like previous years, man. Please.
What? I'm not even following what you're saying.
I'm saying don't draft the projects 2 to 3 years down the road in the first round. Por favor.
Yeah.
Por favor.
I don't know, man. I understand the process, and so because you understand the process, the Jordan Morgan pick makes sense in that context.
That's fine.
I'm not saying I like the pick. I'm just saying I understand.
No. Yeah, and offensive line doesn't. Offensive line doesn't bother me per se. Brian, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Hey,
how about our first round pick plus Malik Willis for Crosby? How about just Malik Willis for Crosby?
Malik and
I misread
Jair.
this for a second. Adam said, I misread it, and I thought it said Goot swings for diapers round 1, which I thought was.
That's not what I. That's not. What
I thought that was a. I see what you thought you read. I see what you thought you read.
Yeah.
Chulfis, I understand that Malik Willis is too valuable as a backup, and that's why we shouldn't trade him for Max Crosby.
Yes, but
also, what if Jordan Love stays healthy next year?
Willis plus Jair for Max Crosby. Okay. These are my favorite conversations.
Would Willis be the starting quarterback in Vegas next year?
It's possible, yeah.
I mean, we all think that Vegas is going
to
figure out how to get Shador, right?
Who probably. I just feel like there's a chance that just things are for sale. Like I know that like Tennessee and Cleveland both could take QBs, and I would understand the idea of wanting to take a QB. But I also understand is remember 2022, I think there was like a level of concern that was like, don't take these quarterbacks early. Please don't take these quarterbacks early. And the NFL was going to be like, no, we're going to do it anyway because we need them. And the NFL
The only guy they took was
Pickett in the first, and then not till the 70s. They were like, no, we agree. This is bad. We're not doing that.
Wasn't Malik the next quarterback drafted?
I don't remember if it was Malik or Ritter, but they were like 2 picks from each other or something like that.
I don't think it was Ritter. And then Matt Corral went like quite a bit later than them.
He was like 97th. The Panthers moved up like 39 spots or something for him from the 4th round. It's crazy stuff. But like, yeah, I don't know. Willis or O'Connell, like I don't mind O'Connell. It could be actually a fine backup. Dude slings it. It's willing to take some hits.
Kenny and Malik Willis for Max.
Listen, that extension. I can't believe that. He's still sitting here after all this time.
I just
very surprised they did that. They could have just taken a DD if they I don't know.
There's just a few people. There's just a few people on Twitter, sorry, on X, who I have just really hoped have been enjoying watching Kenny Clark this season because they've said some things to me.
Yeah.
Whoa, Brian, that's not going to go on the screen. That's not going to go on the screen.
This one will. Corral is a head case coming out. That's true. Is this like a QB1 excuse? You know
Brian, who's been a head case that I don't think we saw in college was Stetson Bennett. Holy crap.
Yeah. Them Georgia QBs, man. What's going on? Everybody's like, oh, Alabama doesn't do the QBs.
He really was. He probably
Ohio State doesn't do the QBs. Yeah? You know who really doesn't do QBs? Since Stafford, Georgia.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I'm just enjoying everybody pretending that Carson Beck was never consensus #1 overall. I'm just enjoying the gaslighting and the rewriting of history. Oh, no, he was never he was like maybe a fringe first-round quarterback for 5 minutes, but he was never consensus QB1. Okay. Okay.
Oh, dang it. Denny might have removed him already. Darn it. Yeah.
Huh? What?
I wanted to see where Beck was, where he started on the consensus boards.
Goose, is this a Kyle McCord hate tweet? Because if so, I'm on board for it. Listen, we love Syracuse because, the North. But also...
We hate him? Let's see if I can search him. Dang it. I wish I knew... Yeah. Okay. Consensus
Brian Maffey. Good on you for taking ownership. I'm proud of you. See, all I ask is a little bit of honesty. Okay, I can respect a man who doesn't hide from previous bad takes.
I just don't remember. It might have been, for me, it was probably 1A, 1B with Shador, I think, coming in. I don't think I chose. Maybe I did. I'll have to look back and find out. The highest I see Beck is 10 on the consensus board, to be fair. Which, again, that
10 overall or QB 10?
10 overall, not QB 10. No.
Let me see. So you were looking on NFL mock draft database?
Yeah. I see. Well, I guess I don't know how. Man, this might have been higher when it goes further back, but now I just realized it's only.
No, Carson Beck. Hold on, I'm just going to share my screen here so you can see it.
Go ahead.
Best rank was first.
I just realized it's only October.
Goose says Beck isn't even a top 100 band. Love it. Okay,
yeah, see, this is what I see.
Best rank first right here. At one point, he was first. This is only going back to October of 2024.
Sure.
And by then, he was already stinking. And
I do see a couple ones on here.
Pro Football Network has him 1 back in October. I'm going to go way back. Let's see.
I'm going back to
this is April, so this is a year ago.
There's a few ones.
9, 6, couple 6. Let's see here.
Now we're in
Third by
August,
Sporting News.
September.
This is the best website in history.
Yeah, it is.
Rotoballer at 6.
It just says round one. Oh, team round 1. Wait, so look, what teams? Oh yeah, that's high. That's
Raiders,
high. Steelers is obviously low.
Giants.
Raiders. Yeah, those would all be top 5.
So you can tell, by the way, the cutoff. Okay, look. Okay, so back in here. So we're in October. You can see when they started actually playing football. Okay, look. Oh, look, 5, and then all of a sudden you get 90,
30, 20. Yeah.
But Brian, I appreciate you taking. Yeah, we know McCord is in the draft, and I hope he doesn't go to Green Bay. That's all I'm saying. He's a choker.
Green Bay with the 87th pick. The Green Bay Packers.
These are like out of order. Look at this one. April 28th, number 1 overall to the Titans. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is all out of order. I'm not sure why it's out of order, but this is more like what I'm remembering. Okay. We're looking at about draft time last year. 5, 5, 6, 8, 3, 3, 6, 8, 1, 2, 4, 1.
Pierce.
Travis Hunter is the most overrated player in the draft. Probably fair. I mean, I love Travis Hunter. Is he probably a little overrated?
Dang it.
As an NFL prospect?
Okay, I'd bet going 5th to the Giants.
Idiot.
All right. But it's the Giants. That makes sense. I don't know. It kind of makes sense. The Giants. But doesn't it make sense, the Giants, though?
I mean, it makes sense for you to predict the Giants to take him, yeah.
It's not bad,
NFL spin zone.
Who would do that? Who would do that?
Pro Football Network 2.
New York would.
1. They would. They would do it. I would say, they're not in position, but if they were in position, Cleveland would.
Yeah. That's
big
also
time.
True. The Bears would.
The Bears, yeah. Big time Andrew Berry hater here. Noted Andrew Berry hater, JJ Lahey.
Yo, they are so far in the negative right now, cap wise.
Because Andrew Berry sucks.
Stuff.
Worst GM, second worst GM. Who's worse, Ryan Poles or Andrew Berry? They're both terrible. I don't think Mickey Loomis is a great GM, but he hits in the draft.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Do you like Tom Telesco?
No. My man's flipped a coin and luckily landed on Bowers over Arnold. Like that wasn't something that should have been a consensus take.
I desperately want somebody to hire John Dorsey away from the Lions.
Plus he had Arnold over Mitchell. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Tommy.
I desperately want somebody to hire John Dorsey away from the Lions. Okay, John Dorsey must be the nastiest human on the planet because that man's drafting record and the fact that he can't get a job as a GM out of this world. He built the Chiefs. He built the Browns from crap into terrible, and then they brought in Andrew Berry, and he brought them back to crap again.
Yeah. Okay.
John Dorsey then goes to the Lions. Back when the Lions still stunk.
Mm-hmm.
He's still there. Someone please hire this man away from... Can the Packers please hire John Dorsey? I don't want him to be...
No, they have a level of character in their organization. They're not doing that.
Somebody tell me what it is that John Dorsey has done.
I don't know.
Why do they hate him so much? I need to start hearing these horror stories. He threw a cup of coffee into an intern's face. He never brushes his teeth. I don't know. Tell me the horror story. Why is it
things? I was worried you were going to say something far more heinous.
No. This
I wouldn't go
Derailed is only PG-13. We're not rated R here. We're only PG-13. Okay. So we do coffee breath and coffee flung in faces. All right.
Oh, does he do it? Costner doesn't draft a fling someone's laptop that had all of his photos on it. That's tough.
Here's the thing. I bet 31
that.
NFL GMs fling laptops. I think the only one who doesn't is Goody.
Yeah, if you see some players flinging the tablets, right? Yeah. Like GM's got doing that stuff, man.
SDN, does Jake have his wide receiver crush yet?
Yes.
Is it Matthew Golden?
I mean, he's certainly up there.
Who is it?
He's a nice player. No. We're gonna make the people come back.
Hold on. It's LSU.
No, it's no. You see what happened? We're over. We can't be doing that.
I don't know.
No, it's done. That LSU. Yeah, he's got a lot more going on than the draft.
Okay. Oh yeah. Kyron Lacey.
Yeah, he's got a lot more going on.
Okay, but didn't you hold on? 1 week ago on this pod, didn't you endorse Kyron Lacey to Green Bay because that was the worst timing?
It was not great timing, that's for sure. It was not. That was tough. Dude declared for the draft 2 days after. That's nuts.
2 days after
put that whole thing together. Anyway, yeah, I do. I know who it is.
Come on, tell us. Tell us.
No. Watch more shows. Watch more shows down the line. We'll reveal.
Will
be revealed in time, ladies and gentlemen. But it's very clear to me. I would put there is a level of draft crush. Golden's certainly in that like second tier of like, yeah, I'm there. I like it.
Sure,
would be in on that because I think that there is. Yeah, I'm struggling with some of the consensus top guys at the moment.
Oh, the consensus is always
so, and like
at this time of year,
Golden's catching steam as he should be. But there are certainly a couple others that I listen.
All right.
If not me, who will drive the train for a receiver to Green Bay? No, it's not Ibuka, Brian. He's fine. He's fine.
You've never been an Ibuka lover. You've never really been, with the exception of the, like you liked Garrett Wilson, but you've never been a Ohio State wide receiver guy ever.
No, I was fine. I was in the like category with Olave and JSN for sure. I mean, I think
the like category with first round wide receivers. So I'm just saying you are lower than the consensus. Except for Garrett Wilson. Like
I love Garrett.
You've always loved Garrett Wilson.
I will go to war for that, man. I will go to war.
Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
What's
up, dog? Yes.
If the NCAA allowed Jeremiah Smith to go to the NFL this April, tell me where you would draft him and tell me where you think he would get drafted.
This is where I would draft him for
You drafted first overall?
Yeah, definitely. In this class?
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's no question. Where would he go?
Like 1.1.
Yeah. He's going 1-1. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Freaking true freshman. Yeah, I would take him 1 overall too.
Oh, yeah. There's not even a question, man. I've seen enough.
Sorry, Abdul, you're going number 2.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah,
Brian,
where would he go? Where would he go? I don't know. I mean, Harrison went 4th. He might be better.
So here's the thing. So I
liked Harrison.
There was a question that was put to the Ohio State fan base back at I think either week 3 or week 4, and it started making the rounds, and it was being asked every week. And it was, would you make the trade right now for this 2024 Ohio State team? Would you rather have current true freshman Jeremiah Smith? Don't think about future years, just only for this season. Would you rather have current true freshman Jeremiah Smith or a senior season of Marvin Harrison Jr.? All right. Do you know what week it was when Jeremiah Smith started being the answer that was winning the polls every week?
Was it the second time he did the one-handed catch?
Yeah.
Was it? It was?
It was, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They're like, oh, he did it once. That's sick, but like, I want to see it again. Oh, he did it again. Oh, man. It's a good time. Brian, no. We're not doing this. You can guess every receiver. I'm not going to tell you whether you're right or
Brian,
not.
if you want to weigh in, you can weigh in on where would true freshman Jeremiah Smith get drafted this year. Where would he get drafted, and where would you draft him? Because Jake and I both say we would draft him 1.1.
I mean,
And I think he would get. I think he would get drafted probably 1.1 because the Titans don't have anything going on. So like, there's almost no wrong answer except for don't take.
No, Cleveland would take him.
100%.
I'm sold. They would. Yeah.
Ooh, we love us some Tetro McMillan.
No thank
you. Don't like Tetro?
He's fine.
Brian, I know what you're trying to do. I know you're trying to guess Jake's wide receiver 1. We know. Yeah, Brian, famous
top
Brian
3
would take
I
true freshman Jeremiah Smith, top 3.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Who are the two guys?
Wide receiver Jeremiah Smith.
Hunter Carter
would be wide receiver 1 on most NFL teams.
Yep. Except the Giants. No,
I said most,
kidding.
not all.
No, I know you did. I know.
Listen,
go through the top of the draft, right? We'll just pretend the Giants don't exist for a second. Tennessee, yeah. Cleveland, yes. Who picks third? Oh, the Giants. No. The Patriots, duh. My God. The Patriots, he's wide receiver 1, 2, 3, and 4 on their team. Who else picks high?
I want to see him.
Remember.
I want to see Jeremiah go somewhere
Jags?
that already has an established wide receiver 1, and then see him supplant that guy. It'd be like when Justin Jefferson went to Minnesota.
I will say, I think the styles of Jeremiah Smith and Brian Thomas Jr. would be incredibly meshed in Jacksonville. That sounds sick. We should do that. Who's in? Ben Johnson goes there and Jeremiah Smith.
I mean, it's not too dissimilar from watching.
It is written.
The Ohio State offense this year.
It is written. Yeah, that's a good point.
So listen, Jake, we sailed past the 2-hour mark on here.
Yeah, we did.
But I would be more tempted to stay on, except that the X viewership is still really high, but the YouTube viewership is dwindling a little bit.
It's bedtime in the YouTube streets. People at
It
X
is
are,
bedtime.
What about Ryan Williams if he came out? I mean, sure. He has still made the best play I've ever seen. It is utterly befuddling how he did that.
I think the question is where would you draft him?
Yeah.
See it too old.
Where would I pick him? I mean, Jeremiah already off the board. Presumably, yeah. Presumably, he's off the board. I feel like Ryan Williams, to me, I would put at this juncture, in like the Jameson Devontae Smith tier kind of receiver.
Yeah,
really like lots of potential. But I think that's where I would.
Do you like JMO? Do you still like JMO, or you just liked him in the draft?
I like JMO still. Yeah, I did a whole video on how the third year might be the breakout one, and
I like current JMO more than I ever liked him.
He's doing it.
Yeah.
Listen, I think
Drew,
the one thing with the speed guys, really quick, is when you see a speedy guy be able to have throttle control and be able to gear down, it's over. I'm in. BTJ did that. I mean, Chase had enough juice and did it. Neighbors is like that, essentially. Who else? Who else is like that recently? I tell you who didn't do it was Ruggs. It took a long time for him to gear down with that speed. And so, like, that's the one thing, right? Like, speed, but can you use it? I actually think Worthy does it pretty well. Which for a small, speedy guy, you probably should. But like, I think he actually does it pretty well. But anyway,
Drew said, "Should we take a running back? We don't need one, but there are so many amazing running backs." I'll tell you, the only running back. I mean, okay, Genty is going to be long gone, but the one running back that I want in Green Bay, because he's the next Aaron Jones, Trey Henderson.
I mean, it's like that's perfect. If they hadn't taken Lloyd, and like that makes sense.
Sunk cost fallacy. I don't care.
But
I don't care
no,
if we have
I
too
don't
many good
mind
running
it.
backs.
I don't mind it, but
we don't know
they
we've hit
will.
on Lloyd yet. We don't know we've hit on
Right.
Lloyd yet. So do not factor him in.
Green Bay. No, I would.
And I know they will.
I
but they
would.
shouldn't. They shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
You
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
I'm just
what he
making
is.
I'm just
You don't
making the
have
point that
anything.
they shouldn't. I would.
Okay.
I'd have no problem.
Okay, Jake.
I would have no
they
problem
are
taking an explosive running back in the third round. I would not have any problem with that.
Jake, they're going to attack wide
Just like I
receiver
would have.
in the draft with Christian Watson's injury in mind. They are
Yeah.
not going to attack running back with that same mindset. That is
Probably
what pisses
not,
me
no.
off. They're going
because they're thinking more about the contract. You're right. That's the thing.
It's so frustrating.
Oh, I know.
Listen, with our
Hey,
cap situation,
this is-
I don't care about
you're
the contract
This
right
is
now.
coming from somebody who would be like, "Hey, Tyler Warren's available at 23." Yeah, okay, thanks.
I would love
Cool.
Tyler Warren, please.
Cool, dog. But
They're going to go cornerback in the first round. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go cornerback in the first round.
Which I'm in. I'm fine with it.
Like I want it, but
Trey Amos is legit. Okay, I will have no problem with that. But yeah, I get it.
It's not that I don't want to add cornerback. It's that I'm tired of the. I just already know the type of cornerback we're going to go after in the first round.
Okay, that's
All right. That's why I'm gagging.
I know. Well, maybe it's the next Jair. You know, maybe stray outside a little bit of the.
Dude, we threatened to
size.
go off the air, and the chat is going off. They are like,
chat's firing, bro.
we got 2 donos.
Yeah, Harrison is from Kentucky. I like him. I like Amos. I like Mello Dotson from Kansas. There's a lot of corners that I think would do well. I know Siobhan Ravel is going to be somebody that's talked about a lot. Obviously, the injury is good. The ACL tear sucks for him. Brian has often talked about Green Bay probably won't go near that. But like there are going to be a lot of corners in the discussion. But you know,
Drew makes a good point. We have a new DC now, so it might be a different story. Here's the thing. We all knew that Joe Barry was a horrible hire from day one.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't really be too upset about
no.
what happened with the defensive picks that we handed to that goofball. I have been all in on Jeff Hafley as Packers defensive coordinator since 2020. And it's playing out beautifully. All right? It is. So you're right. You're right. Just when I thought I was out, you pulled me back in.
Heck yeah. That's funny. Anton Miller, hello. New chatter. Says we should bug the Lions draft room. I wish the Lions draft room was in Green Bay to bug. But we'll have to sneak behind enemy lines for that.
Listen, all we need to do is pay John Dorsey enough money to get him to come to Green Bay.
Or just
Okay?
tank their draft.
Oh, that would be funny. I mean, if he is the horrific human being,
The Trojan
that
horse.
people act like he is, then he would have a price to that where he would tank it. You know.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
Well, listen, we're at the 2.5 hour mark. It's time. We got to call it. All right. Jake, thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan
Who
Reynolds.
wins Monday? Who wins Monday?
I think it's going to be a very fun game.
Okay.
I think it is going to feel close at halftime, and the final score is not going to be that close. Even though the whole game through, you'll say, yeah, Notre Dame hung with them.
Yeah.
But the final
I
score
hope
is still not going to be close. I think Ohio State wins by at least 10 points.
Give me 41-10. That's what I want. I think it's going to be more like
Jake's the biggest
I think it's going to be like
Notre Dame hater.
man, I think it's going to be like 27-20.
Adam Huddle says Ohio State by 17. Brian just says OSU. He's taking the money line. He's not giving us a score prediction.
Smart. Smart.
Listen, all right. We love Northern College football on this channel. We also hate Michigan on this channel.
It's true.
So I'm just sitting here kind of giggling at the fact that Michigan has to watch Ohio State and Notre Dame in the Natty.
It's got to be tough. It's got to be tough.
And
the SEC has to watch them too. So that's also a thing.
Just think how pissed off Michigan's going to be if Ohio State beats Notre Dame and you're sitting there watching your number one most hated rival beat your number two rival.
Yeah.
And then
all they're thinking is
you have
somebody's
all
got
this
to lose.
You have all this extra anger. No, because they 1,000,000% they're rooting for Notre Dame in this game.
Oh yeah. No.
But you're going to have all this extra hatred and anger toward Notre Dame, who you already hate, for losing to Ohio State in this natty and not denying them a natty. If Notre Dame wins this game, Michigan is going to throw a 3-day weekend full drunken.
Yeah, they're taking the week off.
Oh yeah,
they're taking
100%.
the week off. So
they are going to buy Notre Dame hats if Notre Dame beats Ohio State in the natty.
Probably true.
Riley Leonard? Yeah. For a half second I forgot that we were discussing Riley Leonard's team.
Yeah.
And I just thought this was like a late draft,
Sure.
Opinion.
Yeah.
Anton Miller, Josh Myers over Pro Bowl center Humphreys, Musgrave over Laporta. Yeah, I mean, you are cherry picking.
Everybody's gonna have.
These are not
those,
even.
by the way,
none of these are related.
What about everybody else who passed over Humphrey?
Brian wants to know about Cameron Williams declaring.
Yeah, JJ and I were kind of chatting about this on Twitter, just chilling. But the Texas guys, it felt like a year early for all of them. Like Ewers is going, Bond is going. I like Bond. I do. I think I said on Twitter, I think he's got rare throttle control and explosiveness, but man, it's just so inconsistent. So he's declaring. Williams is declaring, who's again very 2 to 3 years out type of player. Oh no. Oh no.
I really thought 2025 was like the year for Texas.
Well, yeah, because Golden didn't have to declare either. He didn't have to.
Right.
He was in his third year. He didn't have to even think about it.
I'll be curious to see if Penn State can retain their guys because
both running backs are coming back, and Dennis Sutton, the other edge.
Are both running backs are coming back?
Yeah, they are.
They're going to pay both of those guys?
I guess so.
I'm a doubter on that. I'm not sure.
Maybe, but I was also surprised that both went back. I thought Singleton was going and Allen was staying back, but
so from what I've heard, Singleton is getting paid to stay at Penn State, and Katron wants Penn State to pay him, but it's not going to happen, and Katron's going to transfer. This is what I've been hearing. Illinois, yeah, that would be great. I would love that.
Let's go. I don't know if they have that much money.
Well, so
they brought a lot of guys back.
2023. Brian says Penn State lost 2 wide receivers to the portal.
So they didn't lose anybody to the portal. They didn't lose anybody.
Yeah. Did they lose 2 water boys too?
Yeah, they don't have those.
They probably paid those wide receivers to leave.
If you walk into Penn State's campus, they don't know what wide receiver is.
Yeah, it's like
never heard of it.
It's like asking Kirk Ferentz about quarterback. Okay.
Yeah. Or offense. That's not putting their hand in the dirt.
That's not tight end.
Yeah, right. If they don't put their hand in the dirt, you don't know who they are.
Well, Iowa has good running backs.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally the only thing they don't have is quarterbacks and wide receivers. They got everything else.
They do.
Okay, I was trying to make a point. So 2023 was the year for Ohio State, and they couldn't get it done. They managed to keep everybody except for Marv. Marv and Mike. Mike. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? The defensive lineman. Mike Hall.
Oh. So
Mike Hall and Marv go to the NFL draft. But they retain everybody else. 2024 was the year for Penn State. I'm curious to see. Obviously, they can't retain Abdul Carter, and he's like 30% of the entire team. But Dennis Sutton is good. They have other good edge guys that they've been recruiting. So, and like we thought it was going to be a big deal. They lost Chop Robinson last year. Chop, and who was the other guy they lost? The other edge rusher they lost. Or didn't they? Maybe it was just Chop and Dennis Sutton and Carter. Carter was an off-ball linebacker last year, but no, they had 3 edges last year. Brian, who was it? Adam says they're not missing Hall. I mean, Tyleek and Ty Hamilton have been. Tyleek Williams and Ty Hamilton have been. Holy moly! Ty Hamilton.
Adisa Isaac.
Thank you. Where'd he go?
Yeah. I thought he went to Baltimore.
Adisa Isaac. Whoops. Is a Raven, yes.
Boom.
So anyway, if Penn State can retain their guys, I'm really curious to see what they could do. Because year 4 for Drew Aller, maybe he puts things together. I mean, that was a.
Do they have receivers? Because Warren's not going to be there to bail you out.
They're going to have to bring in some receivers.
Yeah,
they're going to have to
because they don't have any.
We got to end. We
are again. We got to get out. Yeah, we got to go.
Yeah. So score prediction.
27-20 for me. Ohio State. 27-20.
You think Notre Dame can put up 20 points?
Yeah, because I think they could get a special teams cheapie.
Mm-hmm. Give me Ohio State 31.
Okay.
Notre Dame. It's going to be some weird score for Notre Dame. Something
18.
really weird. I was going to say 16, but 18 is weirder.
18's even weirder. How have they gotten there? They're crazy. It's like 17-2.
9
and
field
they're like,
goals.
all right. No, they get
9
2, and then they're like, so we're starting to go for 2 all the time. They're nuts. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
All right, I'm going to
take 17-8 in the second quarter. They're nuts.
I'll take 34-17. Ohio State 34, Notre Dame 17. I think that'll be my.
Boy, if we're on here next week, it's Notre Dame scored 18 points. That's gonna be something.
That'll be amazing. I still question if Notre Dame can score 17 though.
They're just weird. They just do weird stuff. They got the weird voodoo magic that the Pittsburgh Steelers have a little bit.
I think they'll put up a special teams touchdown. I do.
That's what I would worry about if I was Ohio State.
I also could see a pick 6.
They're going to score on a fake punt. That's what they're going to do.
Okay, you got.
They're going to score on a fake punt. That's
special
what it
teams
is.
Touchdown
Because they're nuts.
and a pick 6.
Yeah,
and then
20.
So that only
20 feels nice.
Dude, what if they do this? What if they got those 2, and then they got 2 safeties somehow, and that's how they got to 18 points?
That would be madness, by the way.
Or
no, just 16. There you go. You get the
or
2
just
plus
miss
a
an extra point, and then you get a field goal and a safety.
There you go. That'll work. Yeah. That'll work. All right.
Well, it's happened again. You've wasted another perfectly good 2.5 hours listening to us here on Derailed. Thanks for that trip down memory lane, looking at all those old episodes.
That was fun.
So, do go check out the playlist that I got on our channel called The Archives if you are missing some old school Derailed. Not that we've changed that much, but we still have a crazy blast on here. And you guys are half the show, and you guys are still here. But in the words of the late, great Mr. Ed Policy, go back, go.